studios. Not quite a full 4 hours today. Got about 3.5 for you because around 5:30 this afternoon, we'll be sending it down to Peoria, where Tony and Jesse will have the call of tonight's exhibition baseball game. Can we still call it exhibition baseball? They don't like that word because it makes it sound like it's not real, but it's actually an excellent description of what's going on.
It isn't real.
It's not real, right? Yeah. I think they like preseason better. They seem to like spring training or preseason better, but whatever the case, it's the Padres and the Mariners coming up a little later tonight. Tony, how are you there in Peoria? How have things been treating you?
Treating me well. Got to sleep in a little bit today. That was
yes,
fun.
Night game, yeah. That helps.
Yeah, and so heading to the field here shortly. Mike Schilt speaks in about an hour from now. So
good. Got to hear from Mike Schilt.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to the first night game. Sounded like yesterday talking to Mike that most, if not all, of the regulars will be in there, including Toddy. So get a chance to see what an idea of what the lineup may look like with everybody in it. I don't think we've had a lineup with, I want to say, Bogey and Jackson have been paired together, while, I think Machado and he's been with somebody each game too. I can't remember who it is right now, but
they're basically been using 2 or 3 guys a game.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so we get a chance to see where Mike's mind is on where Jackson is. We talked a little bit about this, I think, last week, whether, he either is going to hit, you can see him hitting second, but if Toddy's hitting second, then where does he fit in the lineup? You assume Luis is going to lead off. You assume Manny's going to be, I would assume, 3. So 2, does Jackson slide back down to 5? Where's Bogarts and all? It's going to be, it's going to be interesting from that standpoint today.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I mean, you talk about that, and we get the lineup hopefully a little late. I don't know. Did they even release spring training lineups before the game starts? So maybe we'll get a lineup a little later on. But, I think you're right. The Padre lineup is something that needs to be discussed here a little bit. I mean, because we're getting, we're a couple of weeks into spring training, and you talk about, Arise makes sense in the leadoff spot. Just that's where he was. Fernando, they love to have him hit second. Whether you agree out there with it or not, it doesn't really matter because that's what Mike Schilt seems to like to do. Manny, I think, is your number 3 hitter. To me, Bogarts and Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth are all 5, 6, 7. I don't. What I mean by that is I don't see a number 4 there. Like who's your number 4 guy? And I mean that's your cleanup hitter. Is it the most important spot in the lineup? I don't know, but one of those guys, right, has to be the cleanup hitter. So who's it going to be? I mean that's kind of the question I have. Either you move Tatis down to 4, or you ask Manny to slide back to 4, which I don't think he'd want to do. Somebody's got to hit cleanup.
Yeah, that could be one of the options, right?
You
slide Jackson in the 2 spot,
right?
Toddy slides down to the cleanup spot. I don't know that I consider Toddy a cleanup hitter, but for the sake of this lineup, you like him there. I mean, I guess Manny could clean up too, but you kind of want him to get as many ABs as possible. Same with Toddy, right?
I know. If you slide him to 4th, people are going to say, well, you might miss out on a couple of at-bats for Fernando if you bat him 4th. But is he not a cleanup hitter? I mean, he did lead the league in home runs a couple of years ago. That's the definition of a cleanup hitter in a lot of ways. So I think it is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, I don't think you're going to put Jackson Merrill 4th. It sounds like he could do that, but now you're putting even a little more pressure on him that, it's his second year. I get that, but I don't know if you want him batting cleanup. Bogarts, I don't think has been productive enough to bat cleanup until he, proves otherwise. I don't think Jake's a cleanup guy. So that's the interesting thing right now. Who would you bat cleanup out there?
It certainly seems like if those are the options. I know Gurriel's hit cleanup a couple times, but I don't know that he would be considered a cleanup hitter.
Not at this point, no.
Right. And so, this is one of the I think this is why today is a little bit, I don't know, exciting from some standpoint, that kind of get a peek into what the staff is thinking about at currently on the last day of February.
Of course, I think I just came up with a solution while you were talking, Tony. Luis Camposano is going to be on the All-Star team. You might as well just put him forth right now.
You did say that. So, I mean,
all right.
Might as well going to be true.
Might as well just put him clean up now and just start reaping the benefits. Why is Skraby? And you know what? Here's the thing. Because I said that I think Luis Camposano will be on the All-Star team, I can guarantee you right now, Tony, that Matt Skraby, deep inside, he is rooting against Luis Camposano in every single way. He doesn't ever want him to play.
So you can be wrong.
I'll be wrong. Yeah, he doesn't. You don't care. You hope Luis Camposano doesn't even make the team.
You don't know anything about me, Chris.
I know everything about you.
I know that I do not feel this way.
True.
I do not feel this way about this.
1,000% true.
I actually, I draw the line with my hatred at the actual team suffering.
I don't see it.
I draw my line.
You know that on March 28th, Tony, when we come on the air after game 1, and Camposano, if he starts and goes 0 for 3, Skraby's going to be like, yeah, that's terrible, 0 for 3. Who's going to be on the All-Star team?
I actually want you to be right, because this prediction is so out there that it will be great when it happens. I actually do want it to happen.
You don't want me to be right. You know that. But anyway, we'll see. It's going to happen. Here's the other question while we're kicking around this lineup tonight. And the night preseason game, and whether it looks something like it might on opening day. Who's winning in left field? And does it matter who's winning in left field? I mean, my point being, is Jason Hayward your starting left fielder against a right-handed pitcher, regardless of what happens in spring training? Or is there really a true competition with Eggy Rosario and Oscar Gonzalez and Tirso Ornelas? I'm sorry, Tirso.
Yeah.
I can't.
I know. I don't have his name in front of me right now, so it happens. Tirso.
All right, I'll let it go.
Here's the thing. Is there really a competition? And if so, who's winning that competition, Tony?
I think there is a competition. I don't know that anybody's winning right now. I mean,
Forrest Wall, I should put him in there. He's got a couple of home runs.
He has to be put in.
Yeah,
there.
right.
Tirso has to be in.
Yeah.
There. I mean, Eggy's got to be in there. Oscar Gonzalez. Yeah, Oscar Gonzalez has to be in there.
Right.
So I don't know that anybody's winning. That was the first week of games. We just are finishing. Today will be a full week. I think the competition really starts to crack off now. First week of March, our first day of March, these guys are gonna, start getting more ABs, longer days to stay in the
play
game.
A little longer in the game. Yeah.
And I think Mike Shields said as much before the first game last Friday, which was, these early games, you kind of give everybody some grace to kind of get their feet. Now we're a week in, so now I think competition starts to pop up a little bit. Maybe the last 2 games competition, they've been taking tally at this point. I think the first 4 or 5 games, while everybody was getting their feet wet for the first time, remember, because they're only playing 3, guys are playing a game, off, playing a game. So, 4 games in, they've played 2. That's not really something you can start to evaluate. Now, a guy like Oscar Gonzalez, he played in pretty much all of them. So clearly they're evaluating him. He's got to start from maybe a place of he's starting from a little bit further out, right?
He might have a little advantage that we don't really think too much about, because I know Victor Rodriguez, who was his hitting coach in Cleveland, was talking about this guy and saying, you guys don't understand just how good he was in 2022 when he basically took over the right, I think it was right field that year for Cleveland, took over that position and, helped lead them to the postseason, and then was kind of their best hitter in the postseason. Victor, has that pretty fresh in his mind. So it'll be interesting to see how that factors in as well.
Everybody has their advantages, right? Connor Joe's got his advantage. Jason Hayward certainly has his advantages. someone like Oscar Gonzalez, who was underneath Victor, has his advantage. And it's a personal connection. So I would say the competition really has started the last couple of days, and I don't know if anybody's in the lead right now.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned Gavin Sheets, who's had a couple of good performances as well. And let's be honest, we are only a week into, the spring, but this is what we want, Tony. We want Oscar Gonzalez to put a little pressure on. We want Gavin Sheets. We want Forrest Wall. We want, whoever you can name, Tirso Ornelas, to whoever it is. You want them all to put pressure on getting this spot, because that's going to make it a tougher decision. You don't want just one guy to have a big spring and everybody else to fall off.
Yeah, no, yes. I'm sure for the individuals in the actual fight, they would love for everybody just to fall off while they are out there balling. It makes the decision quite easy.
Yeah.
But that is not what the Padres want. They want options. And right now, there's a lot of guys swinging the bat well, playing well.
Yeah, it's been a good start for the left field candidates, if nothing else, here in spring training. We'll find out a whole lot more about that when the Padres and Mariners hook up this evening. Tony is going to head out, at least for the time being. He's going to head over. Mike Schilt is speaking ahead of tonight's game. So Tony will head there, but we'll have him back on the show for plenty of stuff moving forward. Our Big Five a little bit later on. We got our countdown today. It's a Friday. We got Chris versus the fans. We got a daily Gambit. We got to check in on the Aztec basketball team. And, of course, tomorrow night, we go soccer crazy again. SDFC plays its first home match.
I can't with this, Chris. I can't. You were like,
who is this guy, right?
I have no words for it.
I'm actually trying to figure out a way I can watch the game tomorrow night. Is it going to be on again?
Well, you're going to have to pay. That's
that could be a stopping point right there.
That might be the plug.
The great equalizer.
That might be the great equalizer when it comes for me watching the match, if it's not actually on free television. But we'll talk about that as well. It's all coming up, a Friday edition. Glad you're with us, Gwynn and Chris, all three of us getting it rolling here on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan.
We want to treat you to a night in our company suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends.
No way! Are you kidding me?
Register at 973thefans.com/biggestfan. If you hear your name called at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., or 5:30 p.m., call the station within 10 minutes and you'll qualify for our grand prize. Thank you for listening to San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, Padre fans, Tony Gwynn Jr. here. You know I'm all about staying on top of my game on and off the field. That's why Symbiotica is the only supplement brand I trust. They use premium, high-quality ingredients sourced with intention. And they're easy to take packets. It's a home run. They taste great and travel with me everywhere. I've been taking their Magnesium L-308 daily. And let me tell you, my sleep is deeper. Want to feel the same? Go to Symbiotica.com and use code PADRES for 15% off plus free shipping.
These things, it even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some.
These things. It even tells you, hey, there's a canyon over here. Don't hit it here.
Skraby from about 45 feet. His caddy tells him to play it a little to the right. He's been playing well so far today. Fourth hole. Nice smooth delivery. Hit it too hard. Sasquatch.
So Chris says that he can't play golf, but this is the second birdie putt he's made for us. This time it was like 20 feet.
Thank you very much, Greg. But once again, you're hitting some very nice shots as well. I'm not usually complimentary to you, but can't help but be complimentary. Your shot making today.
With my what?
Your shot making. You hit some. Hi, welcome back. Gwynn and Chris underway for a Friday weekend edition type deal. It's finally a Friday. Skraby, such a hurry to get out of here. He's leaving early today.
I am.
He made up something that he's got to go to. I don't even know if it's real. Real thing.
It's real because I just got the script today.
You're like hosting this massive event that you agreed to do, not realizing the scope of this event.
I knew it was going to be big, and I'm happy to do it, but yeah. I don't know why they asked me. Is where the confusion for me
because you're a radio voice, and you're very. I'm
really excited.
You're a celebrity. You're going out to help out the young people at the Rancho Penasquitos Little League. I think that's very kind of you.
I think
very good of you to
fun.
Go out there.
You know, one of the things that I loved doing as a kid, like really young, was the first day of baseball parade. It was the best thing because you knew right after that you either go play games, you get snacks.
I never liked the opening day parade.
Why?
Uniform was way too clean. You know, hadn't been broken in yet.
You could go and dive in the dirt if you wanted to.
You know, you didn't do that. It was all starched out and stiff as a board. You're trying to walk around in your uniform and you can't straighten your arms. And then, like you said, you got to get there at 9:00 for the parade of teams.
Not in this case.
And then your game is like at 1. You got to stay in your uniform for 4 hours.
I would stay in my uniform all day.
Quite uncomfortable opening day. Even though I was in Little League, I was very much like Tony's dad. Opening day was for all of the pomp and circumstances. Get me to game 2. where it's just focused on baseball.
If this doesn't explain a lot about Chris, then I don't know what is.
I already knew that I didn't like opening day, even when I was 9.
You're like, oh, all you people are the fake fans.
Yeah. Well, the diehards come out in the Wednesday night game, but everybody, grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles you never even met before, come out to opening day. Oh, you look so cute in your starch-filled white uniform.
I don't remember my uniform being so uncomfortable. I think maybe we had different material.
You did right. You did not have the material I wore back in the day. We used to wear
burlap
these
sacks.
Yeah, right. We used to wear these gray things that were like the jersey weighed 50 pounds.
I can totally imagine these jerseys right now.
Yeah, it wasn't the light, airy material you're thinking.
No,
of.
It is thick and heavy.
Yes, it was. And mine was gray, and in red letters it said Indians.
Okay.
I did not get, like the kids do now, a real major league jersey to wear. Hat. I got a gray uniform that said Indians.
Yeah.
And on the hat, there was an eye on it for Indians.
Oh, that's messed
pretty
up.
much it.
I guess they didn't have the licensing for Little League yet.
They didn't have the licensing for Little League in those days to get me an actual Cleveland Indians hat. And by the way, just, with all due respect to all of our Native Americans out there, it is the reason that I still don't like the name Guardians.
Why?
Because I played for the Indians in Little League, and the, quote, Indians no longer really exist.
So, I
have my own personal,
I can get you a Little League Guardians jersey if that makes you feel
there was
better.
no such thing as a Guardians jersey, and there never should be.
When I was little, we used to get the hats, and it was always the snap hat, and I didn't like snap hats because I had to be cool, Chris, and I had to get the pro fit.
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, Skraby,
what?
Because you were at my my last, the big birthday shindig.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you've seen a picture of me in my Little League uniform.
That's the one I'm picturing.
That's the one. Here it is right here.
Just put it up on the camera. It's Chris as a 9-year-old.
It actually says BH on the hat, which surprised me. I thought it said I. Can everybody see it?
I think so. Yeah.
So you can see the gray jersey.
Yeah.
And you can't see where it said Indians there, but that was my Little League picture. Somebody dug that up last year for a birthday party.
It was great.
Anyway. All right. Tomorrow night, I know what you're doing.
What's that?
You're going to the match. You're going to be there.
Yes.
The historic home opener.
I forgot you were such a...
I'm a soccer crazed,
up-to-date soccer crazed fan.
I'm a soccer crazed fan. Snapdragon Stadium, San Diego, California, hosting MLS for the first time ever. The 30th franchise in the 30th season of MLS makes its home debut, and San Diego FC could not be debuting under any better circumstances, right? Having knocked off the Galaxy last week on the road, the defending champs, 2-0, and now they come home. 7:30 tomorrow night. They're expecting a sellout crowd. Over 35. It holds 35,000.
Wow.
Snapdragon Stadium. Will they be able to shoehorn a few more in?
Probably.
We'll see.
Probably.
But yeah, no. Kirk Kenny had the article today in the UT. Our guy Kirk, he's on it, and he says, going to be a sellout. Probably going to be an all-time record-breaking crowd. Right now, do you know what the largest crowd ever is for an event at Snapdragon Stadium?
Is it a concert?
Take a guess. No. It's a sporting event, but it's not an Aztec football game.
Is it NWSL?
Nope. It was
rugby?
Nope. It was the Manchester United friendly against Wrexham.
What?
I know. I don't get why people go to friendlies. I don't understand friendly. Go back again to my whole thing about opening day in Little League. If you're going to show up and play, there should be something at stake.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this friendly stuff?
It's like
you soccer fans will have to explain the friendly to me. I know it's there. I know it's a big deal. I know 70,000 people will go see a match. That means nothing. Like, I don't get it, but maybe you soccer people can explain the friendly to me. Tomorrow night, it's not a friendly, though. This is a big time, no holds barred matchup between St. Louis City SC and San Diego FC. 7:30 start, sellout crowd expected. Skraby will be among them.
Yeah.
And
Manny Machado's going to be there.
I know Craig Elson's going to, Craig Elson, I believe, is probably.
I think he's in the fan section, if I'm not mistaken.
He might be in the fan section. Yeah, he's excited. Everybody should be excited. They won the opener. Let's see how it goes tomorrow night. You're going to have a sellout crowd. You want to keep the momentum going. The only problem for me, how do I watch the match? How do I watch the match?
We've already been over this.
I'm trying to go over it again. I want to see if somebody out there, other than stealing the video from some offshore website, is there a way that I can watch the match? MLS season pass that costs like $80. Sorry, I don't mean to be cheap, but I don't need the season pass. Why? Because I'm never going to watch the Orlando City Nashville game, right?
Yeah,
if I was going to pay for something, I would pay for the San Diego FC games only, right? If you could put together a package like that, then I'd be more than willing to purchase it so I could watch my team play.
Yep.
But I don't have enough interest to see Charlotte take on DC United.
Well,
right?
you don't know that because you're a soccer guy.
I do know. No, I do know that I don't have that much interest. So, can I watch the match tomorrow night? Is it on anywhere? And as far as I can tell, it's not. Like Apple TV Plus, which I have, but I don't have the MLS season pass, nor am I going to purchase it. So, that frustrates me. It's a historic occasion. And I understand a lot of people say, well, then go to the match. You should be there. Okay, but not all of us can make it.
I would like to say,
so I'd like to watch it. I guarantee I'm not the only one that would be curious enough to tune in tomorrow night to see the first ever, MLS match in San Diego. I think it stinks that we can't get it on TV somewhere.
I would like to say, too, I appreciate everybody who keeps telling us about T-Mobile. We don't have T-Mobile.
Okay, so if you have T-Mobile, you get the free.
You get it for free before March 4th.
Sorry, I'm not going to win any awards here, and I'm not going to be a T-Mobile sports spokesman ever. Never really been a fan of T-Mobile.
You've had T-Mobile?
Yeah.
Really?
Didn't work too well for me.
Oh.
There goes my chance of ever being a T-Mobile spokesman person.
T-Mobile, okay. I am willing to be your spokesperson.
You'll be willing to be. Okay.
Please come on over my way.
Yeah. All right. So if you have T-Mobile or if you've paid for the MLS pass, I get it, but I have neither of those things. And this is history in San Diego in the making.
Hold on. Charlie Hoffman is teeing off right now at the Cognizant Classic. Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Charlie,
I shouldn't have said, hold on.
Charlie's
I'm sorry, Charlie. I did that to you.
He's in 10th place, but not for long.
He shanked it.
He just hit the ball into somebody's house, which looked like one of my shots.
That may have been the worst time for me to ever bring up somebody.
I got to tell you, that might be the worst shot Charlie Hoffman has ever hit. Like, next time we have him on, we got to go, Charlie. Take us to your team. Even he's laughing.
He is, because it was that bad of a shot.
It was that bad. He's laughing.
He's safe, though. He's still in the grass, but he shanked it over the water. And the group is laughing at him.
Yeah, he hit it into somebody's front yard.
I'm sorry.
You interrupted me, but that's okay.
I thought that was going to be worth it.
Charlie's worthwhile. So is SDFC. We'll talk. We're excited about it. But again, I'd like to see it.
I have some suggestions from the chat on this whole viewing thing.
Are any of them legal?
Yes. Eric says you can purchase for $12.99 a month subscription to try it out. So you could probably cancel after the first month if you're like, hey, I don't like this.
But that's $12.99 that's gone.
Yeah, you have to pay $12.99.
Okay.
Someone also said cancel your ESPN Plus and use that money towards SDFC. That's not a bad idea.
Yes, but then who's going to read you all those fine stories on the air?
You can get T-Mobile internet. You don't need to get T-Mobile phone.
Okay.
So there we go.
But they shouldn't make it that difficult. This is a major professional sports league.
I'm with you.
There should be access to my home team.
I said
easy access to my home team. If I want to watch Minnesota, then I get it. I should have to pay for that right. But my home team in this day and age, that I should have access to.
Matt also has a suggestion that you and Lori could go to like a bar and just drink some water, some soda, and watch the game.
We are water drinkers.
I mean, yeah. Well, at least he was respectful.
At
least he was respectful enough to not to mention a beer.
Right. Somebody was respectful enough. Okay, we'll figure it out. Anyway, excitement. We look forward to it. Hopefully, they can go to 2-0. I don't know. I don't know if that's how you call your record, but a 2-0 would be a great start. We'll come back. More Gwynn and Chris. The Aztecs have a big one tomorrow. More on the Padres, who play the Mariners tonight right here on 97.3 The Fan. Stick around. right, welcome back. There's the sounder for the starting lineup. Is that the starting lineup for tomorrow night's San Diego FC? Oh, no, you don't have that.
No, I don't have that.
No, but you do have the starting lineup for today's exhibition game.
Yes.
I call it exhibition game again.
It's a spring training game.
Spring training game. But it is just an exhibition, honestly. Records, throw them out the window. Padres do have a lineup for tonight, and as we discussed in the first segment, maybe tonight's lineup is a little hint to what we might, or at least what the Padres might be thinking at this point, a month ahead of opening day.
Correct.
A week from, or a month from yesterday is opening day, March 27th.
Sure.
Well, today's February 28th. So.
I didn't know it was March 20th. I'm not good with dates. I'm just like, okay, next Thursday is opening day.
That and math.
Yes.
Not your strong points. So anyway, we discussed in the open with Tony and I and you who would bat cleanup this year. Who's going to bat cleanup this year? I mean, who? Because really, as we discussed, you'd have Arise, Fernando, Manny, probably the first three. What was the first three last year, was it?
Yes, but well,
I'm just saying last year.
Gotcha.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
All right, don't jump ahead of me here.
Oh.
Give everything away.
Oh my gosh.
No, you want to give it away. I don't
I know,
want to give it away.
I'm giddy.
Yeah, well, relax. All right, so Arise, Tatis, Machado, first three, but who would bat cleanup if you do that? Because I don't think Jackson Merrill's cleanup. I don't think Jake is cleanup. I don't think Xander's cleanup. I think last year, actually, Manny was cleanup because you batted Profar third.
Profar let off a little bit too.
No, but by the end of the season, it was Arise, Fernando, and Profar with Manny fourth. Anyway, Manny is fourth tonight. So that is probably what's going to happen. But who's going to replace Profar at three? And our first hint to that is that Jackson Merrill is batting third tonight.
That is true.
All right, so you got Arise, Tatis, Merrill. Then you got Machado hitting fourth tonight. Jake's hitting fifth. Xander sixth. Jason Hayward in left field, seventh. I mean, this sounds like the opening day lineup so far.
I'm great with 1 through 6.
Well, Hayward's going to hit seventh on opening day. I'm telling you, he's going to win left field. He's going to at least start opening day in left field.
I'm not a fan of this.
I know you're not. You don't like him, and you don't think he's going to do well.
I just think that he's not going to put the team over the top.
I didn't say he was, but I mean, they're going to start with Jason Hayward. They got him to be the opening day left fielder.
I get that. I would much rather go with someone like Tirso or Eggy
and Tirso and Forrest Wall and all these guys. They're going to get their chance if Jason Hayward / Connor Joe stumbles.
I have Matt Carpenter fears.
Well, then they'll figure it out soon enough if that's the problem.
They didn't let go of Matt Carpenter all year long.
They couldn't afford to. That was a different deal.
Point. That's a good point. He's only making $1 million or so.
Hayward bats seventh. Yuli Gurriel is the DH hitting eighth. Now, in my preseason prognostication of the final 26-man roster, I had Gurriel in there.
Yes.
But, it's possible Gavin Sheets is the DH. Any number of these guys. I mean, we keep talking about Oscar Gonzalez. I mean, he's, making a strong impression a week in. But today, Gurriel will hit eighth. And then the 9-hitter, I don't think will be the same as this on opening day. But they got Martin Maldonado catching, batting ninth today. I think either Camposano or Diaz will be the opening day. But I think otherwise, that's a pretty close of what the opening day lineup would look like as of today.
Yeah.
Arise, Tatis, Merrill, third. That's a big
jump for him.
Well, it's putting a ton of faith. Now, don't forget, by the time the playoffs rolled around, he was batting fifth.
Yes, he was.
He had moved all the way up. They did everything they could to skirt temptation, and they left him 7 and 8 all year long. Mm-hmm. Even though everybody said, well, he should move up. And they said, no, let's just let him do his thing, 7 or 8, and just, continue getting that production there. But once the playoffs came, he was batting fifth. They didn't wait any longer.
Yes.
But third is a whole nother big jump because third's
pressure.
Well, I don't know that it is in a sense, but here's the thing with batting third. Normally, your best hitter bats third. Just straight up. That's what it is. Normally, the guy you think is your best hitter bats third. Now, I think Fernando has more qualifications than Merrill to bat third, but as we said in the open, they don't like him third. They like him second. So there you go. Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogey, Hayward, Gurriel, Maldonado. That'll be the lineup tonight. I'm sure Jesse and Tony, once the broadcast start, will talk at length about what this lineup means.
Yes,
as opposed to, what it's going to look like a month from now.
I gotta hope that Jake Cronenworth picks it up this year too, because
it's a big deal.
It seems like he starts high in the lineup, or at least 5th or 6th, and then he ends up moving down to like 7th or 8th.
Well, let me just ask you this. In fairness, what do you want Jake Cronenworth to pick it up to this year? Like, what do you want him to, what do you need him to pick up this year? I realize he had a cruddy year 2 years ago.
Yes.
Cruddy.
On the record,
last year,
Chris,
Jake Cronenworth had a pretty good year.
I'm on the record saying that I think he is not getting enough credit for last year, but if you're going to keep him as a big part of your lineup and count him in every single day, I mean, he's got to be better than 241 and 241 batting average, 714 OPS. He's got to be better than that. Okay. He hit 17 home runs. That's fine. 83 RBIs. That's good. He had 3 triples. That's good. It's mostly the batting average and the power.
But nobody cares about batting average anymore.
Well, I'm just saying batting average because it's a way of saying he gets on base or not.
The fact of the matter is, maybe, I mean, if you're the 5 hitter, I don't want you to walk anyway. I want you driving in runs. And Cronenworth drove in 83 last year. That's 5 short of his career best. He was not bad last year. 17 home runs is 4 off his career best. Jake was pretty good last year. He's not better than a 250, 60 hitter because he plays against lefties as well. And, his splits are not great.
Fair. I would say 2021, if he could recreate that season, that's a perfect season for him.
You'll take 71 RBIs and 266 and an 800 OPS.
With 21 home runs and 7 triples. Yes, if he could. I don't even need him to hit 21 home runs. I just need him to get on base and drive in some of the guys here and there.
I think when you're talking about things that need to happen this year for this team to be successful, I think Jake Cronenworth, quote, bouncing back is far down the list. I mean, first guy you need to do something is Xander Bogaerts.
Yes.
You absolutely have to have him no matter where he is in the lineup. They have him 6th tonight. You're going to need production in left field. You don't need Hall of Fame production. You're probably not going to get Jurickson Profar production, but you need something from Hayward, Connor Joe, or whoever it is that ends up with the bulk of playing time out there. Whether it's Gonzalez, whether it's Ornelas, whether it's Forrest Wall, whether it's Gavin Sheets. I mean, there's so many guys in the running. Eggy Rosario. There's like 7 guys in the running for left field.
Here's my fear.
And here's the other thing. Not only is the winner of left field going to be playing a lot, but whoever comes in second is going to be playing a lot either, also because you need a DH.
Yep.
Those are much bigger question marks than Jake Cronenworth as far as I'm concerned.
Let's take this lineup as it is opening day right now. My fear is, 1 through 6, really good. Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogaerts.
Why is it really good? You just said you're concerned about Cronenworth, and we agreed that we're concerned about Bogaerts. So what's really good about that?
The first, let me start over. First 4, really, really good. Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado. Cronenworth, Bogaerts could be really good, but we'll just say they're going to be average. Then you got 7, 8, 9. Hayward, Gurriel, Maldonado. Those are automatic outs. Maldonado, statistically, almost is an automatic out.
Maldonado's not going to be on the team opening day. It's going to be Campusano or Elias Diaz, who are not automatic outs. And you've already shelved Gurriel, and you've totally given up on Jason Hayward. You don't think Jason Hayward's going to get a hit?
You put words in my mouth, but
you just said he was an automatic out. What is the other description of an automatic out?
That's
you
fair.
Just Chris. Said automatic out.
That's fair.
I don't know I don't know how else to describe that.
Last year he hit. Let's see his last year with the total with both teams: 211, 10 home runs, 37 RBIs, 700 OPS.
This is not a perfect team, but when last year started, As a matter of fact, let me just go back for a second.
Don't ask me why my mind works the way it does.
Yeah, that's your mind that we're worried about, not my mind.
That's the wrong one.
I'm not even going back that far. You don't have to turn back time. I'm going back to...
You said you were turning back time. I have to play the sounder that says it turned back time.
I'm going back to March 20th of 2024.
Okay.
Barely a year ago. That's opening day last year. Bogarts batted leadoff in Korea.
I don't even remember that.
Tatis hit second. Cronenworth hit third. Machado was fourth, which is where he ended up.
Mm-hmm.
Hassan Kim was fifth.
Where's
Talk
Wade?
about putting an automatic out in the middle of the order. Profar hit sixth.
Wow.
They didn't expect much from him. No. Campusano was seventh. Tyler Wade, you're right, was in opening day. He batted eighth because Manny couldn't DH.
And then Jackson Merrill.
Jackson Merrill was ninth in that opening game. So and I'm not going to go through every lineup the whole season, but it took a long time to get from that, which I just read you, to what they ended up using, right?
In the playoffs.
In the bulk of the season.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Right?
They'll make adjustments.
So the opening day lineup is totally a lot of fun to talk about, kick it around, get some ideas, but it doesn't stay that way. And I wouldn't expect it's going to stay that way this year. So
no, it's definitely going to change throughout the year. It has to.
The only thing that's not going to change, I guess, is Manny batting cleanup. I mean, that's been pretty much the thing for a while.
I do think it's very, very interesting that Jackson Merrill's now number 3.
Well, he is today. Doesn't mean that opening day he's number 3.
I have a really hard time with remembering that the automated balls and strike system isn't coming into this year, and also it's spring training. Everybody tells me it doesn't matter.
Wait, what about the balls and strikes? You're upset that it's not coming in this year?
No, I have to remember because I feel like it's just already a part of the game, that it's just going to be a part of the season, but they're not going to have it during the season this year. They're going to try for next year. Yeah. I think they should just put it in this year.
Let's try it for like 2092.
Okay.
That'd be a good year to put it in.
2092.
When I don't have to watch baseball anymore by that time.
Why?
Because I don't care if a ball is 1 inch off the plate. I don't need it being challenged. It's just gonna swing the bat. If you're that concerned, swing the bat.
Did you see Max Scherzer the other day?
Tired of it all. Yes, he went 0 for 2 and he hates it.
Wait, the second pitch that he challenged was way below the zone, and
we're gonna get this all the time. That's the thing that bugs.
I think it's
we're gonna get it all the time.
I think it's fine.
We don't even know what the rules are of the challenges.
Yeah, we do.
We do, of how many guys get the challenge?
Yes, the pitcher, the catcher, or the hitter gets the challenge.
Unlimited?
No, 2 challenges. If you lose your challenge, you are out.
2 challenges, what, per team?
Per team, per game.
So pitcher catcher is the same.
Pitcher catcher is the same. Hitter is obviously different. If you lose the challenge, you lose your challenge. If you win it, you keep your challenge. And
if you win, if you win, you could have unlimited.
You could, yeah. If you keep winning,
conceivably, if you just win all day long.
True, you could.
And Angel Hernandez is behind the plate, and he's just messing up every call. And you challenge, and we just have to sit here all day while you're tapping your helmet.
See,
it's really
that's
that
an interesting question.
You.
Like, how many challenges can you do per inning?
I don't know if there is. Unlimited.
Well, I don't know if there is, because there is. I'm gonna have to look into that. Those are things I have not read yet, and I have read Jason Stark's article like 4 million times about it.
Stupid.
It's not stupid.
Not that important.
Okay, let's talk about this. A little bit of news came out when you were gone. The NFL is going to do electronic measuring now.
Fine,
but it's the same.
Same thing that they do now. I mean,
no, they don't.
I'm fine.
The chain gang. Okay, so you're fine with electronic measuring, but you're not fine with an automated balls and strike system.
I think the electronic measuring and the chain are about the same. It's just going to be quicker and less hassle.
I don't know what the electronic thing's going to do.
There.
It's not determining a spot. It's just going to tell you whether or not it's a first down. That seems worthless for me.
I have no problem with first downs. They get it right 99.9% of the time already, and they'll continue just as the home plate umpire gets it called right 99% of the time. And we don't need this challenge system. We just don't.
Can't wait till Chris comes on here during the year and be like, thank goodness for this challenge system. The Padres win. because of a challenge.
Yeah, it'll happen, and they'll also lose a game or two because of it, and it'll equal out. It's not going to matter.
I'm excited about
it's
the
next
challenge
year,
system.
though, so we're wasting our time talking about it.
Yeah, that's true. We are wasting our time talking about it. All right, back to the TV thing for MLS, Chris. I have a little bit more information from Carlos.
Oh, as far as the game tomorrow night.
Yeah, being broadcast.
Okay.
Carlos says, if you only have Apple TV, you have access to 6 or 7 MLS season matches per week. But if you want to watch all of them, you need a separate subscription called an MLS season pass. So you try tomorrow night, Chris, going on your Apple TV and trying to watch the game, seeing if you need to purchase another subscription.
So you're thinking that if just because I have Apple TV, that might be enough.
Yeah, that's what Carlos
According
is
to Carlos.
Yeah.
If that's true, then I'm cool.
That would be amazing. 6 or 7 games, but there's like 30 games, right? So you would miss out on a bunch of games too. But
I just want to see the San Diego team play.
They really should, because I've been trying to get the commissioner of MLS on the show, Chris, and I want to ask him, how does it benefit your league to grow by putting it behind a paywall? Because that's a big problem for a lot of people. A lot of people don't just want to go buy MLS season pass just because they want to maybe sort of watch a few games this year.
I can't believe I'm only speaking for myself when I talk about this. There's got to be a lot of people that are in the same boat. I want to remind everybody today, and only today, we're going to give away or announce our biggest fan at about 5:15. So make a note of this. Normally we announce it at 5:30 on this show. However, today's show is over at 5:25 because we have to throw it to Peoria and the exhibition game between the Padres
and friendly. Everybody's
Mariners.
Crushing you because you didn't know what a friendly is. It's the same thing.
I totally know what a friendly is. What I said is I don't understand it. I know what it is. Don't tell me
people attended the friendly is what
why
you're saying.
do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I guess people are going to the spring training game.
Why?
We're contradicting ourselves a lot on this show today.
I don't think so. I don't go to spring training games either.
Anyway, 5:15.
For the biggest fan. How am I getting crushed because I don't go to friendly? Because I
no.
Because I don't understand why people flock to friendlies.
They were saying, I guess they misunderstood you. I thought you said you didn't know what a friendly was.
Totally know what it is. The match between Manchester United and Wrexham that was here was a friendly, and 35,000 people went out, apparently just to be in the same vicinity as the Manchester United soccer team.
Well, my brother-in-law.
But you're seeing them play a match that meant absolutely nothing to anyone.
My brother-in-law's Irish. He lives in San Francisco. They actually looked into getting tickets down here, but the tickets were $500. And
I understand. Everybody
it's because Manchester United doesn't play here often, and Wrexham is a popular team.
So you're telling me that if I lived in Florence, Italy,
and the Dolphins came and played, you would go?
I would.
A friendly, if a
game that
preseason
didn't
game
mean anything,
you would go.
Doubtful.
You would wear your little dolphin hat.
Doubtful.
You would wear your dolphin hat, your
Pretty
Tua
doubtful.
jersey.
Pretty doubtful. I don't care about games that don't mean anything.
Your forest green Tua jersey.
Yeah, that was a bad buy.
it was cheap, at least.
It was cheap, but it was a waste of money. All right, we'll take a break. Coming back, we got some daily Gambit stuff to tend to. Yes, I want to clear this up. I know exactly what a friendly is. I don't understand why all of you flock to them like it's the end of the world. That's what I don't understand.
You're lumping in a lot of people out there.
Well, a lot of people go to friendlies. 35,000, 34 plus went to the game, Manchester United and Wrexham. I understand Wrexham's on television because of Ryan Reynolds, but really? All right, more Gwynn and Chris on the way. Hour number 2, Gwynn and Chris. Marcelo. Tony Gwynn Jr.'s down in Peoria. He'll be in and out the rest of the show. He's got a broadcast tonight with Jesse. Padres and Mariners, a spring training affair, and we're going to carry the game right here for you on 97.3 The Fan, starting at about a little after 5:30 today. So we'll get done a little early. Already had a few complaints come in because the Skraby Chronicles are going to be preempted tonight. A lot of people are quite upset about that.
Yeah, I got to say, doing the show and the Skraby show.
Were you doing both this week?
It was a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. It was not a my schedule did not work well this week.
We made it through.
Leave it at that.
We made it through. I'm not complaining. Like this is what I've wanted.
Yes,
for my entire radio career. Yes, I loved it. It's much different when you actually do it, and then you're at the end of 5 hours and you're saying things that you don't
probably
mean.
Already said 3 or 4 times.
And that too.
That happens. Anyway, Padres, Mariners, spring training baseball tonight for your enjoyment. Biggest fan will be announced at 5:15 today. Reminder of that programming note. Make sure you're with us then. Hopefully you'll hear your name, and then you'll be in the running for the grand prize, the 20 tickets to the Odyssey Suite, etc. All right. Speaking of the Rams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By the way, you have to keep saying that and yelled at it before every
segment. Rams, baby!
Yeah, I'm kind of over that.
Oh, okay.
But Matthew Stafford is staying with
the Rams, baby!
There you go.
I can't believe one thing that Sean McVay says ever. He might be the biggest liar in the...
Did he say he was gone?
No, but he acts like, oh, it's all good. I'm going to go let him do his thing. He can go find another team if he wants to.
Yeah.
Like, we're good. We're good. And then immediately there's a 2-year deal that's restructured. It's like, why did you make all that stuff in the media, Mr. McVay?
By the way, the New York Giants general manager, Joe Shane, realized I wasn't stupid enough last offseason in letting Saquon Barkley go.
Uh-oh.
So this year, I'll do something even stupider. Giants are discussing whether or not to bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
Yeah, that worked so well for the crosstown Jets. I mean, look, you're going to leave him in New York where he was a laughingstock failure and just put a blue jersey on him and hope everything's okay?
I don't know that he would even play for the Giants.
God, the Giants are just stupid.
I think
they are dumb.
For one season, because they're not going to draft a quarterback this year, I don't think, unless they draft like Shedeur Sanders or someone. I think they might have to go with someone like Aaron Rodgers or Carson Wentz.
One NBA note, which I know Skraby is celebrating, Joel Embiid will miss the remainder of the regular season due to his knee injury. He gone. Zion Williamson.
Just too big. He's just too big.
Zion's coming back, right? I don't know. Joel Embiid is, only a year and a half removed from being the league's MVP.
I know.
And now he's just taking up a uniform. I don't know.
You were going to say something else.
A waste of space.
Yes, I heard it.
All right. Let's get to a very important, I must say, Daily Gambit today. Very important.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in the Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Sam and I made a few bets yesterday. But first, baseball on 97.3 The Fan is presented by T-Mobile. Head to T-Mobile.com and get a great deal on an iPhone 16 Pro. All right, we only made 3 bets yesterday, Chris, but the first one, the UCSD Tritons in Cal State Northridge. UCSD minus 5.5 on the spread. Sam chose Northridge. I chose the Tritons. Tritons win by 6, and they cover.
And they lucked out on the bet. They were up by 4 with Northridge had the ball. and Northridge missed.
I did not see
and
this.
of course fouled. UCSD guy went down, made 2 free throws to win by 6. Those are pressure free throws.
Knowing that you could swing the bet.
Knowing that you can swing the bet. UCSD just can't lose. Keep it going, Tritons. Again, still concerned about their at-large chances, though. I know I don't mean to be negative, but I'm listening to Jerry Palm, and he's usually pretty right. Hopefully the Tritons won't make it a deal. They'll just win the conference tournament.
Our guy Sean Paul, Field of 68, he came on this week. He thinks that San Diego State is in this tournament UCSD, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Well, I hope Sean Paul's right.
Me too. Next one, Anthony Edwards at the Lakers last night. Over, under 41.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Sam went under. I went over. Sam was right because he got ejected from the game.
And Anthony is
suspended for a game.
He's one of my favorite players, but he's got to get his act together. You just can't do this constantly.
He threw the ball into the stands.
I just can't. I mean, the calls are what they are. The refs are, well, you know what? After a while, they are out to get you because they just get sick and tired of your act.
True.
They do. I mean, it's human nature. Don't treat somebody like crap like Anthony Edwards treats the officials, right? Don't treat a person like crap and then expect them to be fair to you. It doesn't mean you have to kiss their butt, but you just treat them like with some respect.
Yeah.
And so I think Anthony Edwards has gone so far over now to being a jerk to these guys that they're like, yeah, we're not going to give you the benefit of anything.
Maybe he's just taking his role from Hustle too seriously when he was Kermit and he was the mean guy.
You might be right.
Because he wasn't a mean guy like 2 years ago. Now all of a sudden he's like fighting people and throwing balls into the stand.
Too much.
But he got 16 techs, so he's suspended for
automatic
1 game.
Suspension.
The last one we did was a 5-star bet by BetQL, Chris.
Okay.
And it was Dallas -6 in the first half over the Hornets. Both of us chose the Hornets. 5-star bet paid off. It was 50-49. So,
you won that one.
Hey, guess what? Who we have here with us right now?
Just
Mr.
in time,
Tony Gwynn Jr.
Just in time to bet some money, to gamble.
Yeah, what's up, Tony?
Hi, Tony.
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, we're just kicking things around. We saw the lineup.
I'm not going to lie. Chris is grumpy. Chris is super grumpy.
Stupid. You make me grumpy.
That is not
simple.
true. He came in here and he was attacking people for liking exhibition games. There was stuff going on.
I don't understand why 50,000 people show up to friendlies. I don't get it. Don't get it.
Tony, you
Game
sure
doesn't
you
mean
want to
anything.
come back on the show after you hear all that?
Hear all what?
Yeah, I mean, this is normal
Normal
stuff for
patter.
us.
It's true.
It's normal patter.
True.
All right, we got to get to the Daily Gambit
Okay.
because this is an important.
You keep saying this.
It's an important Daily Gambit because the 97th Academy Awards are taking place on Sunday night, and yes, there are odds. So you guys are going to have to pick a couple of the major categories. But before we get to that, we've got Purdue -5.5 over UCLA tonight. Game is in West Lafayette, the home of the Purdue Boilermakers. I'm going to take UCLA. I've finally bought into Mick Cronin's madness. Tony, what about you?
Give me Mick in the UCLA
Mick and the Bruins.
Bruins.
Yeah.
The Boilermakers haven't done much for me this year.
The Boilers?
UCLA.
Going UCLA as
I
well.
heard without 80.
I know. You
Zach
take away a
Edey-
7'5" guy, and look, your
I don't
team
know.
struggles.
No, they're struggling. They're still in the top 20. I mean, it's not been that
Yeah,
bad of
that's
a year.
true.
Tomorrow, number 1 Auburn is 4.5 at Kentucky. I don't know if you guys got lucky enough to see the Auburn game the other night. I think they were playing Mississippi. The reason I say lucky, because the game was a blowout, and for the final 15 minutes of the game clock, Charles Barkley sat in with the broadcasters.
Oh, really?
And it was
did
just
he
great.
really?
I mean, he's an Auburn guy, right? He went there.
Yes.
But, I mean, just listening to Charles talk, it was so enjoyable. I didn't care what was going on in the game, the broadcasters, nothing. Just listening to Charles
Yeah,
for a
because
while.
that's what the broadcast is for. Charles Barkley.
I liked it. I was good with it.
You know, see, there you go, Skraby, over there picking, man.
He's a hater.
I see what you're doing,
He's a
bro.
hater.
I see what you're doing. Hey, at some point, Chris and you, myself, Skraby probably has to sit this one out. There's a very interesting conversation going right now. It was a great one today about, I don't know if you saw LeBron's comments about face of the league and Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
It caused a really good conversation today that I think you and I should have it on the face of the NBA, why these guys are reluctant to shoot for it, it seems like. And is that just trolling almost? Because Anthony Edwards said he didn't want it, but the dude is in like every national commercial out there. That doesn't lead me to believe that you don't necessarily.
I don't think he can be I don't think he can be the face of the league right now unless you want the face of your league to be a whining, complaining baby who throws basketballs in the stands. That's not a good look for the face of the league.
All right, let's have that conversation next segment.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Well, we're not going to finish
to get going.
Daily Gambit.
Okay, let's just go to the movies. Go to the movies.
No, I've only done one game.
You've done 2 games.
I didn't. Nobody picked Auburn, Kentucky.
We haven't picked it yet.
I'm sorry, everybody.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back. We got a lot of fun stuff to discuss. We got to take a look at the picks. We got the Academy Award suggestions, and whether or not LeBron is the face of the league, where he wants to be, or he should be,
or someone else.
Or somebody else. Tony Gwynn is in Peoria. Chris Ello, Matt Skraby, Odyssey Palace Studios. Checking out for the moment.
Hey, everyone. Tony Gwynn Jr. here to tell you about my friends at San Diego County Credit Union.
Right on all the way down. Let it rain. All the way. Here we go. Up there.
Pat Skraby, Gwynn and Chris, 97.3 The Fan. All right, we're going to talk about the face of the NBA. But before we get to that and whether or not LeBron is it or wants to be or anybody else wants to be, we got a couple of more picks to make. So here we go. Daily Gambit music. Very good. All right, we got Auburn still 4.5 over Kentucky. Game is at Kentucky tomorrow. Auburn's number 1 in the nation. Tony, you're first.
Give me Auburn.
Going Auburn on the road. It's great.
Me too. Auburn has impressed me. They've won the games they're supposed to.
I'll take Lamont Butler and Kentucky.
Is he playing?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they're home.
He's taking them.
UCLA women, 4.5 over USC tomorrow night. Now, the first meeting was at USC, and the women of Troy beat UCLA. Mm-hmm. Yeah, beat them big. That was UCLA's first loss of the year. Now the Bruins have a chance to get some redemption. Skraby, will they get it? They're favored by 4.5 at home.
Yes, they will.
So you're going UCLA.
Yep.
Men tonight and women tomorrow. I'm going to take USC. My pal Beth Burns going to have something in store for the Bruins. Going to change some things up. Keep it close. Tony? Beth Burns is not the head coach at USC, but she is a top assistant.
In Juju, I trust.
Yeah.
Give me USC to at least cover.
At least cover. Juju Watkins, by the way, broke the freshman scoring record last year in NCAA women's basketball. Most points ever scored by a freshman in 1 year.
Wow.
The record had been held for nearly 40 years by a player named Tina Hutchinson, who played at San Diego State University.
Wow.
Back in the 80s. Tina was quite the scorer.
Oh, you're talking about overall.
Overall
I thought you were
points.
talking about at USC. I got you.
No, just in 1 year. 1 year points. Juju Watkins scored more than Tina did. That broke the freshman record. Tonight, Boston Celtics -1 over Cleveland. In Boston, I'm surprised.
Good matchup.
I'll take Boston at home, only having to give 1, even though I dislike them. Tony?
Cleveland! This is for you!
I'm going to go with that, too.
Nobody likes Boston.
No. Boston.
Nope.
All right, tomorrow night, or Sunday night, it is the Academy Awards.
Hold on, I got some good music for this.
We are in Southern California. We have to do our good service deed. Very good, Scrape.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pretty good. All right, Best Picture. I'm not going to give you all of the nominations. I'm going to give you the top few here. A movie named Anora is now the favorite, according to DraftKings, -200.
Think about that statement you just made.
They have
according to DraftKings.
They have odds. I'm reading the odds right here.
It's insane.
Anora. It's a Cinderella-type take movie about a young lady who finds love.
Next.
Conclave, which you saw some of, Skraby, about the
I did.
The the Roman priest choosing a new pope.
Which
the Brutalist, which I don't even understand and I don't like the name, is the third choice. And then the rest are really, really long shots. It's probably going to be one of those 3. Scrape, why don't you go first?
Oh, gosh.
Give me a pick for Best Picture. Here's a movie you've seen on the list, The Substance. You saw that one. Yeah, but that's plus 8,000. They're not expecting it to win.
I would definitely choose that. I like that movie, except for the end is extremely strange. Like, I still don't know what the heck I watched at the end. I'm going to go with The Conclave, though, because I've seen part of it, and I thought it was pretty good.
All right. I'm going to go with that also. I can't go with Anora. It just doesn't seem serious enough. Conclave seems like an Academy Award type movie.
Make it a clean sweep.
Clean sweep for Conclave, according to this show. We know what we're doing. Best Actor. It's either going to be Adrian Brody from The Brutalist. He's favored. Timothy Chalamet played Bob Dylan in A Complete Unknown. And then Ralph Fiennes played the lead priest in Conclave. Those are your top 3 choices. I'll take Timothy Chalamet, the second choice in the betting. Did a great Bob Dylan. Tony, who you betting your hard-earned cash on?
What was the other guy? Chalamet. Who was the other one?
Rafe Fiennes is actually the pronunciation. It's spelled Ralph.
Rafe Fiennes.
But it's Rafe. Or Adrian Brody's the favorite.
I got a chance to just listen to, what's his name? Chalamet?
Yeah.
Chalamet.
He did a Super Bowl interview with one Kendrick Lamar. I enjoyed it very much. So I'm a big Chalamet.
Good enough reason to pick Timothy?
Everybody I know has told me that Chalamet was amazing in that movie.
You're going there, too.
Go
so we're all three agreeing on both of those awards.
Yes.
Best Actress. The favorite, heavy favorite, is Demi Moore in The Substance.
She was awesome.
Crazy movie you
Good
saw.
for her.
She was awesome.
Mikey Madison was the female lead in Honora, the one that's nominated for Best Picture. They're really the only two. Everybody else is kind of far back.
Give me Demi.
I know you're going with Demi. Demi's won all the preseason stuff.
Listen to Chris.
The
friendlies
leading up to the Academy Awards. I'll take Demi. We might as well just go, clean sweep on all of them.
Well, we haven't seen the other movie, so
all right.
This is how if you wanted to know if all three of us, or at least two of us, don't know what we're talking about, this is what our list ultimately looks like. We end up picking with each other.
All right, we're all three taking Conclave. We're all three taking Timothy Chalamet. We're all three taking Demi Moore. We'll see how the picks come out.
I mean, Demi Moore was amazing, so she should win.
Enjoy the Academy Awards, everybody. Those are Sunday night. What are you pointing at me for?
We got some more time.
I know. You want me to talk more?
Well, you rolled back in your chair
me to talk? Yeah. Do you want me to talk more?
He rolled back in his chair like, all right, now that's done. Oh, yeah.
Stretching. There is a big conversation going on right now about being the face of the NBA. And wasn't it Stephen A. Smith or something that was really upset today about something? And it had to do with LeBron saying he didn't want – LeBron said he didn't want to be, and some –
No, so here's what happened.
Mad Dog said, who's he kidding? Or it was a crazy thing. What happened?
No, I think what set this off was obviously Minnesota played the Lakers last night. Lakers beat them.
Right.
And after the game, I forget the question that was asked about LeBron, but it was referencing Anthony Edwards at the All-Star weekend saying he didn't want to be the face. And LeBron really piled on that by saying, why would anybody want to be the face when the people who cover the game just – on
tear you down,
everybody who plays it. Well, he didn't use that word. He used the other word.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it counted. It sparked a conversation on face of the league, why it's different from the 80s. They had Gilbert Arenas on there today, who actually was really good, and he was talking about how MJ's kind of aura is really unapproachable, right? For whatever reason. I think Gilbert, in his kind of synopsis, ends up trying to forgetting that, in the 80s, Michael was kind of criticized too. He couldn't win the big one, right? When Magic made 3 turnovers in that 80s playoff or final, I mean, he got crushed for it. Now, the difference is there's way more people covering the game now. And I think the thing that one of the points that Stephen A. Smith made was that, and I make this point with you guys all the time as it pertains to baseball, I think athletes have, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they have lumped the people who the podcasters and the people who have a platform now who aren't necessarily media. You know what I'm saying? Media should be separate from that element, but it gets lumped together, and so do broadcasters, so do the people, former players that are covering the game now. They all get lumped into the same thing, and I think there probably is more scrutiny than there ever has been on whoever the face is. But even in LeBron saying that, one thing he said was, I understood the responsibility that came with it, and whether I wanted it or not, I accepted it because I knew how important it was for me to have role models and this, that, and the other. And I'm saying to myself, you're kind of beating up your own point in that regard, because basically what you're saying is this kind of comes along with it. Yes, it's probably the temperatures turned up way more than it was in the 80s, 90s, and even in the early 2000s because so many more people are watching, so many more people are talking. But it also translates to how much money you're getting on the court. Right. And so it's all kind of woven.
You get more positive stuff in this day and age than you used to, right? Because there's just more outlets.
But you get more negative.
I think you get more negative because let's be honest. The shows that are strictly about X's and O's and breaking down the basketball don't get as much run or looks as the negative parts of it, right? And I think that's just what our society is into. You know what I'm saying? And we like the drama. You know, we like the drama more than we like the X's and O's. You know, I remember Kobe's detail. I love that. But that wasn't for everybody. Most people wouldn't enjoy listening to him break down unless you enjoy basketball like that. You know, the finer parts of it. And it was an interesting conversation because I could see how today's athlete may not necessarily want to jump into that. And quite frankly, because they're making so much money and because they have their own platform, they can kind of get away doing it the way they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think, you know, I think it separates. Like you look at the three best players in the league right now, I would say are the three most recognizable. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, all like all-time greats. But only one has really stepped into that mantle of being the face. You know what I'm saying? And has really been that. And that's LeBron. It's not because those other guys aren't capable. Oh, I don't think KD is interested in it just based on how he moves. And I don't know that Steph got to it fast enough. You know, he didn't come into his own until a little bit later. LeBron was already well established at that point. But as far when those guys retire, who's going to be the next one? And I don't know that these guys are like jumping at the bit to do it, unfortunately.
Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? Does there have to be one? Also, can it be a foreign player?
Great question.
Because Wembanyama is probably, unless he, you know, stays hurt, which is a factor. Jokic is the MVP every year. Doncic is the next is 25 years old. But these are all foreign players. Can one of them be the face of the league?
I think the better question is, will America accept a foreign player as being the next? They will. I don't know that they will either.
Jason Tatum has said, like, hey, why not me? Why not me be the face?
It should, if we're being honest, it should be a race between Tatum and Edwards. Edwards has more cleaning up to do, right? Your face of the league can't have 16 technicals at this point in the year. I don't know that I ever heard of Kareem, Magic, Michael, Larry.
Kareem
Kobe,
should have had 16,
LeBron.
But they were scared to call him on him because Kareem never committed a foul in his career, according to Kareem.
Either way, they didn't do that.
No,
you know what I'm saying? No. And so that's part of his. But remember, he's only 23, 4.
Yeah, Edwards is young.
He's young. A lot of these guys are still young enough. I think Tatum is for whatever reason, probably because he plays for the Celtics, but for whatever reason, he's not given the same amount of due that those other guys are. His numbers, what he's done in this short period of time is equal to what I think only like 5 players have ever done in this league in terms of what he's accomplished already. But for whatever reason, they say he's boring. They say, you know, I don't know what the reason is. He certainly should be.
I don't know that I would go with Tatum, but I think he's deserving.
He should be one of the people in the running, I should say.
Yeah, he's not in my running, but I'm not sure why.
What about Austin Reeves, the White Mamba?
Face of the year? Face of the league?
Yeah, he's got a great personality. I would love to have him as the face of the league.
Unfortunately, Skraby, having a good personality is not the only thing that you have to actually possess to be the face of the league. There's a lot that comes with it.
Time out on the floor. Go ahead.
I just think that the conversation needs to be, the reality is that both things can be true, right? Players are definitely more scrutinized, and maybe we lean us, and I say we, I'm kind of lumping everybody in. to the same boat. We need to even it out. We're doing too much of the negative stuff versus the actual, there's a lot of good things happening in the NBA in terms of how good the West is, who can come. I mean, there's a lot of parity this year and on that side. Anybody can come out of the West this year. So, and I just think there has been it's in a weird place right now. I think that's the best.
The only reason I can't put Jason Tatum in there at the moment is because he represents more than anybody, because he's the best at it, what people say they don't like about the league. And that is the guys just jack up 3-pointers. And Tatum is, a 3-point shooter before anything else. Not his fault. That's just what he does. I don't know that the league wants to be defined by that.
I don't know that he's a 3-point shooter before anything. I think if you go back, maybe the last 2 years, he's become more 3-point dependent, but he didn't have a 3-point shot when he first got in the league. So it was all, buckets in the mid range and getting to the rack. His coach is a proponent of the 3-point shot the way it is. So in essence, he's kind of doing what his team needs to do in order to win championships. And it's right, as much as it pains me to say, it's tough to argue against it right now because they won a championship last year and are looking like they could represent the East again.
They are the champs for now. All right, Gwynn and Chris takes a break. A little late. Sorry, Scrab.
It's okay.
Hi, I'm Nicole Donnelly, and for 34 years, I've owned and managed Miramar Kitchen and Bath alongside my husband.
It's time for the Beaver Nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the Beaver Nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name Beaver Nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was going to say it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, they taste like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor, it's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, are they cheesy? No, they're not cheesy at all, actually. They're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now, I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely.
It's like caramel a little bit too. All right, I gotta stop eating these because I will eat the whole bag. I love these things. I'm gonna leave them here though because I will eat this if I go home. It's just gonna be a bunch of beaver nuggets in my bed as I sleepwalk or something like that. All right, it's time for the beaver nuggets. So the story is somehow Buc-ee's got brought up. I think Frank brought it up.
Yes.
And it's a rest stop / mall / entertainment zone, super center. And someone said on the chat yesterday that they have like 100. They went to one with like 100 gas pumps, which is a lot, I guess. But while we were talking about this, Sam Levitt was in New York listening, and he goes, "Put me on, put me on, put me on." And so we put him on, and he's talking about how much he loves Buc-ee's. And so we got into the conversation, and it ended up being about the beaver nuggets. And so I had to order them because I find the name beaver nuggets very gross. I find it gross. But we're going to go with this. It's kind of like a Cheeto / a corn pop.
It's like a cheese doodle.
A cheese doodle. And we're going to eat them right now. I don't think these are bad, but here we go. I like it. It tastes like a corn pop.
I was going to say it tastes like a waffle, really.
It does kind of taste like a waffle. You know what? I'm in. These are good.
Yeah, I'm not.
You want another one?
No, I don't want another one. But yeah, I mean, it tastes like a waffle, like a waffle with syrup on it.
It's pretty good. I gotta say, I'm not hating these at all. Actually, they're very good. I like this. The waffle is a perfect explanation. If you've ever had, I'm sorry, I'm talking on the microphone with food in my mouth. But if you've ever had a what is it? A Lay's potato chip that's waffle flavor. It's kind of like that. Sad Fryer says, "Are they cheesy?" No, they're not cheesy at all. Actually, they're sweet.
No, it's like a hard waffle with syrup on it, with dried encrusted syrup on it.
Now I don't exactly know what the puff is. It could be just fake something.
Most likely. I mean,
it's like
3:39 is the time. Tony's in Peoria. I'm here. Skraby's here. You're there, stuck in some traffic. Let's get you caught up on that. And then it's Friday, so we got a countdown.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Just a couple things to mention here. Crash involving a car and a motorcycle stopped on 163 before the 805 there in the center divide. Looks like a stalled car has been moved from the Gilman on-ramp to northbound 5. But North 5 coastline before Cannon, looks like 3 or 4 vehicles involved in a crash. This one is blocking the 2 left lanes. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's now time for Gwynn and Chris to rank their top 5 of the day.
Gonna grip and rip as usual.
But this isn't just a regular top 5 list.
I love it. It sounds sadistic, but I love it.
This is the countdown. And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are at that time of the week where we pick a topic and count it down. And a lot of times it's sports related. Today, not so much. You got the Oscars coming up on Sunday.
Yep.
I know you guys are really excited about that. Tony, have you set your DVR for the Academy Awards Sunday night?
Sure have. Can't wait.
And I bet, between now and then, you probably try to screen all the movies so that you're ready to go.
I've seen all of them already.
Yeah, I bet you have.
Wow.
I'm sure Tony watched The Brutalist and Conclave and all the other ones that are up for the
Conclave, I watched about half of it, and then I fell asleep, and it wasn't because it was boring. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Great flicks.
Yeah, sure. Wicked. I mean, did you take the kids to see Wicked?
I drew the line at Wicked.
You drew the line at Wicked.
The musicals, I can't do the musicals. I'm sorry.
All right.
I can't either, Tony. I don't blame you there.
In honor of the Oscars, we are going to do a little bit of a movie category today. And our, one of the great actors of our time, Gene Hackman, passed away.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 95 years old. I mean, he had quite the life. I guess we could do a whole segment on trying to figure out exactly what happened here. I mean, he was found dead. His wife was found dead. His dog was found dead.
I wonder,
They thought, that was the first thing they thought, Tony, was some sort of gas leak.
Mm-hmm.
But there were 2 other dogs that are there, and they were both fine.
didn't die.
Yeah, they were fine. So they've ruled that out.
What?
Yeah, and they've also said that they're not so sure it was foul play. So what was it? It's going to be an interesting
Yeah, that's weird.
That's a movie in itself right there.
I know. But
speaking of movies, my man Gene's catalog is
it's deep.
It is.
Gene did a whole bunch of stuff,
deep.
man. He was
He was
an unbelievable actor. He did win a couple of Academy Awards during his run.
I actually think he did 77. IMDb is crediting him with 77 acting roles in his.
And he probably had a few more that
crazy.
didn't get in there. But anyway, we're going to do our top 5 Gene Hackman movies today, and I'll get started. I'll start it off.
Okay.
Since I think of the three of us, I'm more of the the Academy Award type of.
You're the only one who's going to watch it. So.
I am the only one that'll watch it.
Not the only. I told you. I saw a couple of the flicks already.
No, I'm saying the actual award.
But
show.
I'll actually watch.
Oh
the
yeah,
award
no, I
show.
won't watch the award.
I'll actually watch it and care about who wins, Tony, which is really stupid. But I realize how stupid it is.
I can't believe the Brutalist won that category.
I will not be happy if it does. It's a 3.5-hour movie. I don't have time for it. Number 5 for me is The Poseidon Adventure for Gene Hackman. This is way back. The Poseidon
1972.
Yeah. Okay. The Poseidon Adventure is about a big luxury liner that gets hit by a tidal wave and capsizes.
Yep. Turns over.
And it was the very first of the really big disaster movies that came out in that era. There was one called The Towering Inferno, where obviously a big building catches on fire.
There was
Earthquake. There was a whole line of them. But the Poseidon Adventure was the only one that you could kind of watch and get through, and that's because Gene Hackman was in it. He was the star of it, and he was the guy that tried to lead everybody to safety.
They have to climb from like the bottom of the boat through the top because it turned over.
They had to go from the top to the bottom because the bottom was at the top, right? It capsized. But anyway, yes.
Very clear and concise.
You got it. Yeah, Gene Hackman is the leader of the brigade there, and spoiler alert, Gene doesn't quite make it at the very end, but he had a great role in that, and that's kind of the first time I remember being introduced to Gene Hackman. The Poseidon Adventure, number 5 from me. All right, Skraby, what do you got?
You're going to hear that again, actually, on my list.
Okay.
Number 5 is The Replacements. It's a movie with Keanu Reeves.
Was he in The Replacements?
Yeah, I believe
he was.
He was the coach. He was the coach
in that?
With like the little fedora hat thing.
Okay, I didn't remember that.
The Replacements.
Yeah, because he wasn't prominent in the movie.
No, but I loved him in it. He was great in it. And Gene Hackman and Keanu Reeves, that is an underrated movie that people don't give enough credit to.
You know what team that's about, don't you?
Probably the Redskins.
It is. It's about the 1987 Redskins, loosely based.
Yeah.
Because they had a player strike that year, and the Redskins were famously not one Redskin player crossed the picket line, and they went to play a Monday night game against the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys had like 20 players cross the picket line and were suiting up for the Monday night game. And the Replacements, those Redskins, won the game.
That's pretty incredible.
And that's basically what the movie was loosely based on.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Even if he wasn't featured prominently, I love that movie.
You're going for it.
Yeah.
All right. Tony, what do you got?
I'll start number 5 off with Hoosiers.
Ooh. Number 5, huh?
Only 5 with Hoosiers. I didn't love the movie, but
isn't that funny? I didn't either, and it's regarded as one of the greatest sports movies by a lot of people, but I didn't agree.
I felt like that was indicative of how my high school coach, when I first got there, wanted to play basketball. Maybe not 1986 style, but
you didn't run
similar.
Didn't they run the picket fence play for you, Tony? At Poway High?
They didn't run the picket fence. They did not run that, but a well-disciplined team like that. It's not my favorite movie, but I have to put it at 5 at least for the Hackman movies for sure.
All right, we're underway with our Gene Hackman countdown. Number 4 for me is going to be. I'm going to go with The French Connection.
Okay.
A little early in the countdown for this, but it did win the Academy Award as Best Movie, Best Picture 1971. He was named Best Actor. In that movie, he played a police guy named Popeye Doyle, all-time classic character. And it's a good police movie. It also has one of the great chase scenes of all time, car chase scenes at the end of the movie. If you're ever interested in watching an old action movie, Gene Hackman and The French Connection, very good.
All right. My number 4 is The Poseidon Adventure, Chris said. I watched this a ton with my great-grandparents.
I can't believe you watched
so
it.
much. I've probably seen this movie maybe 25 times. And it is great every single time. As a kid, it terrified me to get on a cruise boat. I have never done it. I'm not scared anymore. But going over in the sea like that, Chris, is not cool. I'm not into it. So, The Poseidon Adventure.
Number 4. All right. Tony, what do you got?
Number 4 on my list will be Enemy of the State. Gene played a pivotal role in helping Will Smith figure out that he was bugged.
Yep.
And that there was someone out there trying to frame him.
Yep.
Loved him in this movie. He didn't have a huge role in this one too, but it was an important role in this film. I put Enemy of the State at number 4.
Here's one thing that stands out about Gene Hackman as an actor. A lot of actors, before you go see the movie, whether they're going to be the good guy or the bad guy.
100% about
Gene Hackman. You never know. He can be the good guy and really good, or he can be the bad guy and you can really hate him. And that's the thing that makes him great.
He also could play like a secondary role and make that a big thing too.
Yeah. He did a great job. All right, number
3.
All right, number 3 for me is going to be Superman.
It's classic.
He plays Lex Luthor, who's the Lex Luthor. Yeah, he's the bad guy in Superman, but he's funny. He plays him as a comedic villain, and he plays it to the hilt. To be honest with you, he overdoes it, and. Anyway, Gene Hackman's role in that is part of what makes that a classic. Superman, number 3.
I considered it. I did.
All right.
My number 3 is Crimson Tide. This is a great one. Denzel, Gene Hackman, they were on a nuclear missile sub, and they have to prevent a mutiny. And in the whole movie, you don't really know what's going to happen. And Gene Hackman's amazing in the entire movie. Is Crimson Tide a Michael Crichton book?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
Very good.
But Crimson Tide's awesome. 1995, right in my wheelhouse.
Right
I was
in your
watching
wheelhouse.
war movies at 10, Chris.
Yeah, Crimson Tide's a good one if you like those submarine
submarine
war thrillers.
War movies,
yeah. Tony?
Where did I have my The Firm, number 3 on my list. That's one of my favorite movies. Honestly, one of my favorite movies, period. I enjoy The Firm. It's one of those movies that comes on randomly on like TNT and I'm a glutton for it. I sit there and watch all. It's a long movie too, by the way. It's not.
It is.
It's not a short one. And so with the commercials, it can get a little stretchy.
You go 2:34. I got the official time. Right
Oh wow! There you go.
Yeah, it's lengthy.
That's a long one. Yeah, but The Firm, number 3 on my list.
All right. Skraby, you got the countdown meter in your.
I'm sorry.
Number 2.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any great movies.
Right. My 5, 4, and 3 could have been in any order for Gene Hackman, but my top 2 are locked in stone. And number 2 is The Firm. It was the first John Grisham book that I ever read, and you read an entire book and then they come out with the movie, and you're almost always disappointed in the movie, but not in this one. Tom Cruise is amazing as the young lawyer who comes in and joins the firm and basically finds out that the whole thing is a charade. And it's just, right. Gene Hackman is running this whole underground thing that is totally tied into everything.
They're laundering money for the mafia.
They're doing everything. And Tom Cruise is like, what? He's just so excited to be a lawyer. And Gene Hackman, welcomes him to the firm and then takes him into the deep, dark secrets of the firm.
The abyss.
Yeah. But John Grisham books are amazing. The Firm was the first one I ever read, as I said, and the movie delivered. Gene Hackman was one of the reasons why.
I'm completely changing my list.
You may.
I need to flip. I need to put Superman 3. Firm is going to be 2 on my list.
Okay.
Oh, you're going. Okay.
Well, I'm going to boot The Replacements. And I'm going to
that
put
should've been
Behind
in the
Enemy
first place.
Lines at 5.
That's a good
And
one.
then I'm going to put The Firm at number 2. You guys told me to watch this maybe 2 years ago, and I loved
It's a
it.
great
It's
flick.
such a good movie. So there's my number 2.
All right. So, Tony, you got The Firm number 2 also?
I got The Firm number 2, yes.
All right.
Okay.
So we're down to number 1 for Gene Hackman, and this is a blowout for me.
A blowout, huh?
Yes. I think it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I've watched it 10 times.
Can I guess?
And Gene Hackman is once again the bad guy who's got all the
never
secret
mind.
stuff. Kevin Costner, No Way Out. If you've never seen
know if I've
No
ever seen
Way
this.
Out, it's came out in the mid-'80s. It's one of Kevin Costner's first movies. Tony, you've not heard of it?
Oh.
I've heard of it. I didn't. 87. Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know that I've actually watched it.
It's better than The Firm, but it's similar in that regard. Kevin Costner is in the Navy, and he's an officer.
I see the
And he starts uncovering all of the terrible things that are going on behind the scenes. And of course, at the center of it all is Gene Hackman. And so it's a thriller, it's chases, it's twists and turns. I think I say this a lot to you guys, but I think you guys will both love it. It came out a long time ago. But
No
Way Out is a great one.
The blurb for it on IMDb: a cover-up and witch hunt occur after a politician accidentally kills his mistress. I can't really say that. I was trying to do that dramatically, but
Yes,
that
but
didn't
did
really
Gene
work out.
Hackman really accidentally kill her? We don't know. There's all kinds.
I'm going to watch that
crazy
one.
stuff. You'll like that.
I'm going to watch it. All right, my number 1 is one that Tony mentioned, Enemy of the State. I was like 13, 14 years old, and I watched this movie, thought it was so cool with the technology and everything. I think it's hilarious when Will Smith has to run through that hotel in his underwear, and then he runs into that room, and the lady
is that
is
the
like
scene you remember the most, huh? Will Smith running in his underwear.
It's funny because
Okay.
the lady starts like thinking he's like
She
some male
seems
stripper.
like a tripper. Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. But Gene Hackman is great. That's my number 1.
All right, Tony.
Yeah, I'm gonna steal one from Skraby. My dad loved this flick. Crimson Tide will be number 1 on my list. Good flick, good storyline. Again, Gene Hackman showing his versatility. He's been a bad guy the last 2. He is the captain of a specific submarine.
Yeah.
But he's got a green kind of second in command in Denzel Washington that they played their roles really well together.
They did. They really did. All right.
Gene Hackman, man, one of the greats, passed yesterday at the age of 95. There's our countdown. I think probably most of those movies all of you have heard of, except maybe No Way Out, which seemed to be kind of the surprise there. I would recommend. You guys can all get back to me on that one.
No one said The Birdcage. No one said The Chamber. No one said Ants.
Chamber is like The Firm, but not as good. Same author.
Oh, The Royal
John
Tenenbaums. Heist? Yeah, Heist.
A lot of good ones.
That was a good one. Yeah.
All right. There's our countdown. More Gwynn and Chris.
We finally are getting back to Chris versus the fans after a full week off.
Next, 833-288-0973. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down in Peoria. We'll hear from him again soon. Big Five's coming up at the bottom of this hour. We'll also hear from Tony in the 5 o'clock hour when Jesse Agler and he take the air for tonight's broadcast. Padres baseball. Padres taking on the Seattle Mariners tonight right here on 97.3 The Fan. So we hope you'll tune in. Skraby Chronicles preempted this evening.
Yep.
And you don't seem too unhappy about that.
Yeah,
because you've had a big week.
I've had a big week.
You've had a big week.
And I have a big night, so.
Big night ahead. That's right. You're doing this event. Skraby's going to be out and about at the Little League opening ceremonies, Rancho Penasquitos Little League.
Yes.
And Skraby's going to be out there, master ceremonies.
Aaron is a big listener. He's the one who reached out.
Aaron, very good. Yeah. Very nice. And, you know, I understand you're reading. You're going to give you a script and you've got to read some things.
They did. Yeah.
But I think if you're going to be a good master of ceremonies on your way up, you got to prepare yourself a few little jokes and things to entertain the people off the cuff.
I'm sure I'll figure out a way to do that, Chris.
Can't just read.
You're making me nervous.
Can't just read the script. People are looking to you for greatness.
Okay.
You're the celebrity master of ceremonies tonight.
All right, I have a joke. You want to hear it?
A good baseball joke, I think, would be a good way to start out. Keep it clean. Kind of get everybody laughing.
No, it's not a baseball joke, but it's a fun joke.
Is it clean?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
A polar bear walks into a bar. And he sits down at the bar, and the bartender says, "What are you having?" And the polar bear just sits there, doesn't say anything. 5 seconds later, he goes, "Oh, I'll have a gin and tonic." Bartender's like, "Why the big pause?" And he just said, "I don't know. My mom gave them to me."
Yeah, all right. I don't know if that's going to win over the Little Leaguers.
It's not. It's definitely not. But that's the only thing I can think of right now.
That's all you came up with.
You got one for me?
I'll think of something good. I think there's a good baseball joke or two that you could tell, or a couple of good baseball story. You know, that's clean, which is kind of a fun baseball story to regale the youngsters.
I'll bring Earl Weaver audio with me.
That probably would not qualify as being clean.
No. But now you've got me nervous, Chris.
Well, I'm just trying to give you a little.
I appreciate it.
4:03 is the time. We're going here in hour number 3. Padres and Mariners, as mentioned tonight on 97.3 The Fan. We are a week into spring training. Padres have their starting lineup tonight. We went over it a little earlier. If you missed it, might be close to the real thing. I mean, we're a month away, but most of the projected starters are in the lineup tonight. Arise is batting leadoff. Fernando's second. The big question we had is who's going to bat third, because Profar is no longer there. Jackson Merrill batting third tonight. Manny's hitting cleanup. Cronenworth and Bogarts are 5-6. Jason Hayward, who to Skraby's dismay is probably going to be the starter in left field, is batting 7th. Yuli Gurriel, DH, and hitting 8th. Martin Maldonado's hitting 9th. Now, I think that's the one where I think you'll have something different on opening day. But I could see the other 8 happening. But as we discussed, the fight a week into spring training has been really good.
It has been.
Oscar Gonzalez has been, tearing the cover
cooled
off
off
the ball
a little bit, but for the most part, the young guys are doing good stuff.
Gonzalez been good. Tirso.
Yep.
Arnellis.
Yep.
Forrest Wall.
Yeah.
Hit a couple of home runs. He's a former first-round pick, Forrest Wall. Don't forget that. He kind of faded from view, but Forrest Wall's hit a couple of home runs. Eggy looks like he's swinging a good bat, and I've heard nothing but positives really about Eggy so far.
Yeah, Eggy's been great in left field.
If you don't know who we're talking about, that's my guy named E-Guy Rosario.
Yes, E-Guy.
Yeah. But anyway, the fight for left field is on, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out.
Katrina just gave me a joke. How about this one, Chris?
Let's hear it, Katrina.
Why are most baseball stadiums so cold? Because they're full of fans. Yeah,
you might get booed off the stage before you get started.
Coming towards my face on that one.
Yeah. I don't like your chances with that one.
Okay,
we got to come up with something better for you. We absolutely.
I didn't know I was doing a stand-up comedy.
Well, I think you just open with something. You try to get everybody on your side right off the bat. A couple of baseball notes today. Bryce Harper Got hit by a pitch the other day. He's back in there today. So Philly fans, no more sweating that out.
Yeah.
Matt Vierling, Tigers, going to miss opening day with a shoulder injury, right rotator cuff. He's a outfielder. Big part of that Tiger club that won a playoff series last year, eliminated the Astros. Remember that? The Tigers, of all people.
I do remember that.
And injury note, Yankees rookie of the year right-hander Luis Gil, spelled Gil,
yes.
G-I-L, but pronounced Heel.
Yes.
Bullpen session today, shoulder tightness. So he is he's on the they're watching.
They're watching him.
He's going to have an MRI. You know what's going to happen? MRI. Things can get crazy.
You know, if I called Adam every time I had something a little hurt on me,
I got to tell you, that is true. I know these are baseball players.
Come on, people.
Well, you pitch with a shoulder injury and you tear a rotator cuff.
I
You're
get
gone
it,
for
but
a
it's
while.
like,
but I know what you mean. I know, guy. Look, at least make up something better than he's out with a bruised heel. Because a bruised heel sounds like, you know what? We could all play.
Or just like, hey, I can't start today. I woke up and my shoulder felt a little weird.
It's a little tight.
So
if it's a little
start.
Yeah, if all of us were able to get out of work because something was a little tight, there'd be no workforce
you know what?
at all.
Hey, Adam, I didn't sleep that great last night. I think I should stay home from work.
Like I said. All right. That's some of the baseball stuff there. I had something else.
You don't need anything else. What part didn't you get about we need to get to the game?
Oh, Chris versus the fans.
My goodness.
I totally forgot we were playing. Let's go.
See what I deal with? No, we can't go now.
It's too late to play the game?
Yes. We got to go to the next segment for the game.
I don't know why I did that.
I don't know either. See
that
what
was
I deal
pathetic.
With people? See what I deal with people?
You told me to hurry, but you didn't say hurry because we got Chris versus the fans, which for some reason I totally forgot about. The hell? What am I thinking?
Yesterday, Sam didn't look at the dock.
That's not good.
All right, let's go play the game, see if we can get it over with before we get too far.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Rob on the chat said, these are pro players. They know their body. I'm not saying they don't know their body. I'm just saying it's kind of lame that they sit out for stupid stuff. That's all I'm
let's
saying.
be honest about it. Baseball players are the wimpiest. And I would not
really?
say that. Yes, I would not say that directly to.
I was gonna say
the likes of some of these, incredible hulks of athletes, but you don't see hockey players sitting out with a sore toe.
No,
they just don't.
I stubbed my toe.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to be playing for qualification to Vegas.
Take it back. Basketball players might be worse.
I have a sore back.
Yeah, those guys sit out for a lot.
I need to load manage. But you will win a 4-pack of tickets to a Padres spring training game at Peoria Sports Complex, and you're qualified for the grand prize. 4 tickets to the Padres Guardians game at Petco Park on April 2nd. Get your spring training tickets now at PeoriaBaseball.com. The rules: you have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get it wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, nice job. Let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right, let's get into it and see who we got. Let's go to Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good, Steve. Good luck to you, man.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. Which Padres top 100 prospect doubled off the center field wall last Sunday against the Dodgers?
Salas.
Nice job.
Ethan Salas.
All right. Here
People
we
are
go.
so impatient. They want him in the starting lineup right now, Skraby.
Let the kid play.
Let him marinate a little bit.
Who is the SDFC head coach?
Oh, boy. He's undefeated. 1-0. Launch for win number 2 tomorrow.
I don't even know.
In front of a sellout crowd.
All right, stay there just in case Chris doesn't know it.
It's Mikey Veras. Wow.
Sorry, Steve.
Sorry, Steve. I really kind of just barely came up with that. I must tell you. It wasn't like automatic.
It's top of mind now, though.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Jason. Hello, Jason.
How's it going?
Jason,
How's it going, guys?
You ready to play?
I am.
All right, here we go.
Play ball.
Where are SDFC's home games being played?
Snapdragon.
I think I may have already asked that, but I don't care.
35,000 plus will be at the game tomorrow night.
Wow.
Yeah, baby. We are soccer crazy.
Who has the most home runs for the Padres so far in spring?
Goodness.
Manny Machado.
Manuel.
Stay there.
Forrest Wall? I don't know. Really?
Forrest Wall,
it is
that's
Forrest Wall.
It is. Yep.
Ah, sorry about that. What's he got, 2?
He's got 2. Yeah.
He's the leader.
He's the leader. Sorry
Oh,
about
man.
that, Jason.
Sorry, Jason.
All right, let's go to a chat friend, Brandon. Hello, Brandon. Oh, I didn't click it.
Click.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Hi, Brandon.
All right,
can
there
hear
he
you.
is.
Can you hear
There
me?
he is.
Yeah,
yes,
we got you.
Yes, we're good. All right, here we go, Brandon. Question number 1. What is the name of Tiger Woods' new golf league?
The TGL.
TGL is correct. Nice job.
I can tell you that I would have missed that.
They've moved it to ESPN2.
So stupid.
they moved it out of prime time.
Yeah.
Question number 2. If the Aztecs make it to the tournament this year, how many consecutive trips would that be?
Talking about Aztec basketball.
Yes. Aztecs men's basketball.
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6.
6?
Is that correct?
I don't think so.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5. I hate to tell you.
I just gave you the answer, too.
Yeah, but I knew it. It's 5. The reason it's not 6 is there was no tournament in 2020.
That's right.
So
That's
they couldn't
why.
play in it.
That's why.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brandon. That
Sorry,
was actually
Brandon.
pretty good, Brandon. You got close.
He was right there.
All
Kind
right.
of lost on a technicality.
All right, I'm
kinda.
sorry, but since we got to go tiebreaker.
Tiger.
Okay, let's go Forrest Wall.
Yeah, the life and times of Forrest Wall.
We're gonna go with him as our player.
Jeez.
He's got
doesn't have many statistics.
he's
but
got
we'll do what I
31
can.
games in stats. Is that too little, Chris?
It's a little too little. I don't know.
All right, let's go with
Gonna need somebody with a little.
let's go
more
with
than that.
Luis Ariz.
All right.
We haven't done him yet.
I love.
All right, I got him. So let's go to find our contestant, Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Have you heard the tiebreaker before?
Yes. Also, my name is Jack. I don't know why.
It keeps
Mark
coming
has
up as
been,
Mark. Let me change it right now.
Because you stole. You stole Mark's
just
phone.
for the future.
I just changed it
guess
to
so.
Jack. Hopefully it changes. Hopefully it
Jack,
changes.
to change. Yeah. Anyway.
All right,
let's get
here
it.
we go. Jack, you stay right there. I'm going to ask Chris for a number. He's going to give it to me, and then Jack's going to guess whether or not the actual answer is higher or lower. Chris, in 6 seasons for Luis Ariz,
Yes.
how many times has he struck out?
Oh, that's a good one. Even, I mean, like you could have 10 strikeout, 20 strikeout season back in the day, but
You could have 10 strikeouts in a week for some of these
Right now,
guys.
these guys, yeah. But I think, Rise probably, I'm going to say 6 years, 200. That'd be 30 plus a year.
200. All right, let's go
Strikeouts.
back to Jack. Jack, is it the actual answer higher or lower?
I'm going to say higher.
Higher.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. It was Chris, you were close. 194.
$194 for
Yeah,
Luis.
You only had 29 last year.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. Let's go to our next contestant, Bana. Hello, Bana.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hello.
Not much. All right. Stay right there. You're playing the tiebreaker. Chris, how many triples does he have in his career?
In 6 years?
In 6 years.
Yeah, 20'd be too many. I think 17.
17.
Less than 3 per season.
All right, Banna.
17.
How many triples, or is the actual answer higher or lower than 17?
I'm gonna go with lower.
Lower. Nice job.
Really? What is
Stay
it?
right there. 14.
Only 14. Well, that's close.
Yeah, you were close. All right.
Very
good job, Banna.
All right, stick on the line, Banna. We got to
He had
take
6 triples in 2021. That was his
the rest. He's
career
been
high.
only 1 or 2 a year.
Yep.
Got it. All right, more Gwynn and Chris coming up. I talked about this, but I haven't talked about it.
Okay.
Big game tomorrow night. Not soccer. But I'll tell you what is also a big game after traffic.
From the 855, get
Hi, we welcome you back at 423. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down in Peoria. He'll be right back with us here shortly. We got our big five around the corner. Bet you Skraby's got some crazy stuff for us to debate over. So that's coming up shortly. Don't forget, 5:15, a little early tonight, we announce today's winner, the biggest fan. 5:20 or 5:23 and 45 seconds to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
We send everything down to Peoria because we are doing the game tonight. You can listen to Padre baseball. If nothing else, man, just sitting back listening to Jesse and Tony and the sounds of baseball as you're driving home.
Heck yeah.
That's, whets the taste buds for a new season.
It does.
Right?
It does.
That's coming up tonight.
Jesse was talking.
Mariners.
Jesse, I'm sorry. I told you to get to your topic, and then I'm going to take it over. You get to your topic, Chris.
I was looking at the bubble teams, Aztecs basketball, concerning with that. We already talked earlier about UC San Diego, and I know that most of you think, because I think a lot of people are saying this, that UC San Diego is probably going to be in the tournament, whether or not they win the conference tournament, the Big West. And Jerry Palm told us otherwise. So I don't know, but I want to say to UCSD, don't leave it to fate. Win the Big West Conference tournament. Don't leave that to fate.
Just get it done.
It's hard to see two teams from the Big West in, considering they just don't play a good enough schedule yet. UC San Diego should be in. Don't get me wrong. They beat Utah State on the road. That enough
that's huge.
Should get them in. But I'm worried that UCSD won't be in. Here's on the other night. I'm worried about the Aztecs still too. I thought by beating New Mexico the other night, they pretty much locked in an at-large berth. Right now, Joe Lunardi has them as a 10 seed. He has them as a last four buys, which means they're not the last four in. They're the last four that don't have to play in the
first
in the play-in round.
Okay.
So they have a little space. But if they lose tomorrow night at Wyoming, that space is gone. Because Wyoming, they don't take into the account the fact that Wyoming is 7,000 feet above sea level and is one of the hardest places in the world to play a game. That just doesn't factor in. The only thing that factors in is that Wyoming stinks. And so the Aztecs have to beat them. They cannot afford to lose this game.
You got to have some sort of analytic that can measure that.
Doesn't measure.
Should.
So you go to 7,228 feet and you can't lose. And I'm pretty sure the same is going to go for their game next week at Las Vegas. Also, they already lost once to UNLV at home. Can't lose a second one. So I don't know that, the Aztecs are not in. I thought that win over New Mexico was going to give them enough cushion to where maybe they could stub their toe once. Again, if I was the Aztecs, I wouldn't stub my toe once, especially at Wyoming. And I know that I've been there, Skraby. You can't even walk up the ramp to the bus without going, it just wears you out. And whatever Smokey Gaines said that time about the
pressurization,
place being pressurized is not true.
Yeah, you can't pull that one anymore.
Not anymore. So, Aztecs, I'm so impressed with the season they've had, the job that Dutcher and these, coaches have done with a young team that really shouldn't even be where it is. All the new faces, all the new pieces. And now they take Guath away, and all you do is beat the number one team in the league. And pretty soundly, I might say, the other night.
By the way, we talked to Mark Ziegler on Tuesday, and he said that it's not outside the realm of possibility Guath comes back before the end of the season.
Right. Oh,
Which is crazy.
I think he's going to be back.
Because we thought it was the worst.
No, I think he's going to be back in the next week or so. But the point is, they're still without one of their key guys, and they have to continue to win. They can't stub their toe. And they got 3, games left where they could stub toe in any game. So, both San Diego State, UCSD still have a lot to play for before they get to the conference tournaments. Wish them the best. Did we congratulate Stacey Terry Hudson yet on winning her 20th game?
Oh, wow.
Don't think we did. The women's team, and now they're 21, but they've won 3 years in a row with Stacey. And it's the first time they've done that in 30 years as a program. So good for them. But they go to the Las Vegas, in a couple of weeks for the Mountain West tournament, and they have to win it to get in. That's just the way it is. And that means they have to find a way to beat UNLV, who hardly ever loses on the women's side.
Yeah.
So good luck to those kids.
But they
my
beat them
friends.
this year, right?
They're the only team to beat them.
That's what I thought.
They beat them by 1 point on a last-second shot.
So it can happen.
But yes, they're going to have to probably beat them again to get where they want to go. All right, where we want to go is to a break because the Big Five is around the corner on Gwynn and Chris. There's Skraby. Glad to see you on the show. Oh, hello. I'm back. By the way, if you don't know, you can always watch the show on YouTube. Maybe not everybody knows that yet. We've been doing it over a year or so, but
Karina just said, or Corinna, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but
right.
Said that they are someone who just checked in on the stream today for the first time.
Right. It's fun to watch the show. Go to YouTube, search 97.3 The Fan, and you can watch any of our shows, including ours, each and every day. And there's always a little extra stuff for those watching because Skraby, so you get to see all the, you understand more why Skraby drives us nuts, basically.
No, that's not
because you get to see all of his reactions and he throws stuff. And
well, I definitely
much
have
more
done
interesting.
that. I have done that.
We made a big deal out of the Padre lineup tonight because Manny was batting cleanup, Merrill was batting third, and the whole thing. And now Manny's been scratched in the game tonight, so he won't be playing tonight. And Bogart moves into the cleanup spot, and Uriel moves up to the 6th spot, and Eggy is in for Manny batting 8th. And so all of our analysis of the lineup tonight kind of just goes out the window based on all of that. Tony and Jesse have the game coming up at a little after 5:20. We have traffic, and then today's Big Five.
Let me see if traffic's ready.
It's not ready.
Hold on.
Maybe it's ready.
I'm trying to see.
Could it be ready?
I don't know.
It's ready. Here we go.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Plenty of stuff going on this afternoon, guys. Watch out for a mattress in the fast lane, southbound 5, right past Via de San Isidro. Northbound 5 at the North 15 connector ramp, collision in the center divide. Looks like that may be in the clearing stage. Also got a stalled car northbound 15 near the 8. That's over to the right shoulder. Heading west on the 8 Mission Center off-ramp, accident involving a couple vehicles. They're over to the right shoulder. Heading up the coastline, northbound 5, accident clearing right before Cannon. Got this other accident, though, before Oceanside Boulevard. Looks like several vehicles involved there over to the right shoulder. And northbound 15 still clearing an accident out of the HOV lane right before Miramar Way. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
Okay, I'm happy to have both of you guys back for the Big Five. Sam wouldn't answer my golf question yesterday, so I just had to answer it on my own. But wait a minute. That's a new possibility. I mean, you don't have to answer some of your dumb questions.
Okay.
No.
I
might
use that
as
something going forward.
No. It was an easy question,
especially if they're dumb golf questions. I might just start passing on all of those.
There was a 59 shot on the PGA Tour yesterday, the 15th in history. So a fan asked me, what would you shoot on a PGA Tour course? And well, he really asked me a much more in-depth question. But I said, what would I shoot on a PGA Tour course? Never played on an actual PGA Tour course, but I have played on an LPGA Tour course at Lake Merced in San Francisco, and I shot I believe it was 128 or 38. Last night I was trying to think, but I stopped counting after a while, so that's how difficult those courses are. What would you guys shoot?
159, I think. I mean, if that guy shot 59, pretty sure 159. I unless I had a day like the I don't know the guy's name. He's on the South African tour. Did you see this today?
Yeah, he had 2 holes in one.
2 hole-in-ones in one round.
Yeah.
Wow. So unless I had a day like that, which would get me from 159 down to 149, I guess.
Tony would shoot 64.
In what world?
On the front nine.
Well, the thing is it would be a 159 because there would be some rules guy actually not allowing me to kick the ball out from behind a tree, not improve my lie.
Good point.
There would be no gimmies, right? Even if you're 2 feet away, you'd have to make it.
Some rules guy hating on you out there.
Yeah, right. They would not be allowing for.
Sir, you disturbed your lie. That's going to be a 2-stroke.
Excuse me. What happened to my breakfast ball?
Yeah. Oh, sir, there's no such thing as a breakfast ball on the PGA Tour. But yeah, it was Sam wouldn't answer that because Sam doesn't play golf, so I guess he can't really answer. He did, however, before we get into it, have strong opinions on pickleball in Arizona.
He did. He was quite upset
Hot.
with the elderly pickleball players in Arizona.
Yeah, they're not welcoming, and he can't get a game.
Well, they won't let him play.
They're supposed to be like
They
a
just
rotation thing.
Right, and
they're not
where
rotating.
he's used to the next 4 paddles are the next 4 people on the court.
Yeah.
Sometimes winners stay on, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But here in Arizona, apparently, like to the people holding courts, like, nah, we're only playing against this group here.
Wow.
Only 2. So he was quite perturbed.
Did
about
Sam
it, I must
present
say.
his social security card? I mean, you have to be at least 65 to play pickleball.
Pickleball.
That might have been
That's
the
why they
problem.
didn't. I think that's why they didn't want to let him on.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
hey,
right.
this is a club for the older.
He hasn't started losing any hair yet. You can't play pickleball under those circumstances.
Oh, well, Sam was clearly upset. But
boy.
anyway, you should go back to the Big Five and listen yesterday.
I will.
Number 5.
All right, Sportico came out with its list of most valuable franchises in sports, and the Padres come in on the list of the top 100 at number 100 with a value of $2.03 billion. Can you guys guess number 1?
Cowboys.
Yes. How can we call Jerry Jones a delusional owner if he's
That's what he says.
They're always
Like,
the
come on,
highest
guys.
grossing
We got the-
revenue team in the league?
And then he forgets that.
He
forgets that he actually has a team that's. I mean,
It
he
doesn't
bought a
matter, I
team.
guess.
I guess not for him, right? I mean, but the whole purpose of being in that league is to win in that league. You have somehow mastered being relevant without winning, and so I guess he can continue to do that.
They are worth over $10 billion.
Yeah, and he paid $100 and
Little
something
pink.
million. So I mean, he has made so much money; it is absolutely ridiculous.
That's not the question.
I'm sure it isn't. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Padres are number 100 overall, but number 15 in baseball. So, Chris, what does this tell you about the Padres?
I don't know. Number 15 in baseball.
Number 15 in baseball. Chris
doesn't
mic.
my
will
mic's not
stay
working. It
down
won't stay in my.
Welcome back, Chris.
For some reason, my microphone is
It
like
just
filled.
bobs up and
It's
down.
like filled with helium. It keeps going to the ceiling here.
And he grabs it. He's like, "Come back."
Bring it back, and then it goes back up to the ceiling.
Yes.
again.
What does this tell you about the Padres?
It doesn't tell me a lot about the Padres. I mean, you tell me, but it just tells me how much all these sports teams are worth. That's the only thing that I get out of these articles. I mean, you say the Padres are worth what? 2.03 billion. And I'm not going to be, I'm not going to pick on the Padres here, but I mean, you hear this, and then you hear teams in general talking about how they can't afford, to make payroll, and they can't afford. They have to charge, $70 for parking, and they absolutely have to charge $15 for a beer and $12 for a hot dog. This isn't on you, Padres. The question was asked Padres. This is on all of these sports teams. I mean, they make so much money. They're worth so much money that it's hard for me to ever feel sorry for them. And, I'm glad that Tony's around to remind us every time an athlete signs a contract for $50 million, everybody's whining and complaining, but the team itself is making billions of dollars. So it's a drop in the bucket. And I just assume the players have the money. What I'd like to see is some of that money given back to the fans who support these teams in the way of some lower prices along the way, because I don't think they need to charge this stuff. So that's what, in a small world, I answer,
Sounder,
that's where I go with it.
We need a drop in the bucket sounder. Like, we got to get that.
Drop in the bucket. How do I illustrate a drop in the bucket?
I don't even know. Maybe we get a mic and stick it in the bucket and we can drop some coins or something in there. I don't know, but it would be a good sounder. To your question, no, I don't think this says very much about the Padres. I mean, Chris kind of hit it on the head. There's 14 teams ahead of the Padres making more money,
and they're paying, and the Padres are spending.
Yeah, no, well, they were criticized for doing that from us. How about this? Other owners. Isn't that something? It was quite crazy.
Right. What are they doing?
No, I mean, what are these guys doing out here spending this money? It's so frivolous out here with how they're just spending. No, I think it doesn't say much. I just think sports is more marketable than it's ever been, and these teams are taking advantage of it and making pounds and pounds, just piles and piles of money. So
yeah. Why do you think people are standing in line to own teams? Because they know it's a license to print money if you get it. Yeah.
And listen, it's changed because, I mean, yes, it feels like anytime any organization is up for sale at this point in sports, people are like clamoring to be a part of ownership or owning it. Why? Probably because it makes money. I don't know. That's probably why people want to invest and do. We keep seeing it. I don't know that, Chris, you probably be able to speak to this better than I can. I don't recall maybe like in the early 2000s when teams came available that there was like, it seems like there are lines and lines of people that want to get in on ownership now. I don't know that it was like that in every sport early 2000s. Seems like sports has kind of taken off from that standpoint.
But I still don't know the last team that just folded because they were completely out of money. I mean, that's been, you got to go back.
It's never happened in my lifetime.
Yeah, you got to go back to the 1970s and the 80s. And again, those are teams that were like in fringe leagues, like the ABA, the World Hockey Association, things like this. I mean, you haven't seen an NBA, an NHL, and baseball, football. When's the last time one of those said, "Yeah, we just can't operate anymore"? It's not happening.
All right, that was great conversation. We got to speed it up a little bit.
Number 4.
I'm fine with budgeting time for that one. There is a growing group of baseball people out there that think there is one team that could shock the world and make the playoffs after losing 93 games last season. The Sacramento A's. Writers are predicting them to have an...
Don't do that.
Why? I can call them that.
No, you cannot. They want to be known as the A's.
I can't do it.
Athletics. Can't do it. You can't call them Sacramento. They don't want that.
No, they don't. It's going to say in the standings, Houston, Seattle, Los Angeles, Texas, Athletics.
I
hate that.
I hate that too.
Well,
they're not special. Just because they have an idiot owner, they're not special.
Well, they're going to be. Their name is going to be special.
All right, fine. That team up there in the state capital, writers are predicting them to have an incredible season and a complete turnaround the fortunes of the team and make the playoffs. Tony, do you think you saw the A's yesterday? Do you think the A's have what it takes to make the playoffs?
They got some talent. I will say that. I don't know if they have enough to get to the postseason. As you start to kind of break this down, right? I mean, the division may be up for grabs. If you think about it, I mean, the Astros have lost a ton. They lost Tucker. They lost Bregman all in one offseason. They are highly dependent on a young and healing pitching staff. Can Jordan Alvarez be able to put an offense on his back? Because it's basically what he's going to be asked to do. I know they got my man Walker from the Diamondbacks, but I don't know that's going to be enough. In my heart of hearts, I don't think they can win division, but I would not be surprised. This team has some talent. They finished up the year well last season. They made some investments, believe it or not, and I think they're going to be well coached. Now they're still doing some of the things that make terrible teams in spring training, but it's early, and I know they're going to be like the dark horse. People are like saying, "Oh, I don't think they're there yet." But when you watch them, it's clear that this isn't like the A's of 2-3 years ago. Like they got some talent in there. Now it's just a matter of them putting it together.
I got my eye on Lawrence Butler for some late round value there in the fantasy draft. Chris?
He probably won't last that long because a lot of people know who he is.
I know.
Here's the thing. Who did the Athletics invest in? Luis Severino?
Brent Rooker.
Luis Severino. Yeah, Brent Rooker was there already. Who else?
They got
the
some
stadium.
relievers.
They did get some relievers.
Just because they spent some money.
They were over 500 in post All-Star break last year.
Yeah, that's because nobody cared when they played against them. This is a nightmare of a team, a nightmare of an organization, a nightmare of a stadium situation.
Wow.
They may be able to take advantage of that because teams are going to hate playing there so much and broadcasting there so much. But no, the Athletics.
All right, I hope you keep that same energy when the Padres go in there, and if they lose 2 or 3, well, they didn't want to play there.
Look, the Padres can't beat lousy teams. They haven't beat the Rockies for 10 years, so that won't surprise me. But the Athletics are not going to the playoffs. It's a nice dream.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Number 3.
I'm going to leave that far behind us, Tony. Browns star Myles Garrett has been sending signals to the Browns that he is done. Browns GM Andrew Berry isn't listening. After Myles Garrett said he was willing to do whatever it takes to be traded by the Browns, even saying he isn't interested at all in a contract extension, GM Andrew Berry said this during the scouting combine this week about trading Myles Garrett.
For us, Myles is under contract. We love him. He's a good player. So for us, it's really as simple as that. We don't envision a scenario where he's no longer a member of the Cleveland Browns. He's a franchise player for us. So we're going to keep him in Cleveland.
All right. So there you go. He's not listening. Chris, is this a mistake by the Browns and the GM?
Well, it sounds like something that nobody's going to win, at least at this point. And I think what's going to eventually happen is that the Browns are going to be stubborn, or at least attempt to be stubborn, and hope that Myles Garrett changes his mind and comes around. But I don't think he's going to, because the Browns probably won't do anything to make him change his mind. So my guess is Myles Garrett will sit on the sidelines next year and just won't play. So nobody's going to win. I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. I don't want to say never, but rarely does the player ever go, I changed my mind. I'll play for a lousy team and take a beating.
Tyreek Hill did.
I don't know that happened, because I don't think he's threatened to leave before the season started. So it's not a terrible comparison. But no, I think this is a lose-lose is what I think it is.
All right. Tony, what do you think? Is this a mistake for the Browns and the GM?
No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think this is what he has to do. If he doesn't, then he's just acquiescing to the player, and then whatever from that standpoint, we'll take whatever it is from there. But I think, listen, when you have a player like this, you try to do things. Listen, believe it or not, I remember it. Kobe Bryant once asked to be traded, like, get me out of here. And what Mitch Kupchak, was it Mitch at the time? I think it was Mitch Kupchak. What he did was he just ignored him, basically, and started pitting pieces around. And now they went out and they played. They traded for Pau Gasol, and eventually he changed his mind. Not saying that the Cleveland Browns are anywhere close to what the Lakers have been able to do or would do, but if I'm him, I'm playing this the same way. Like, hey, I understand he is unhappy, but he's the best player at his position in this league, and we don't want to give him up. So we're at a standstill, basically, until he becomes a free agent, or I'm put in a position where I'm going to lose him for nothing. Then at that point, I'll have to deal with whether I need to trade him or not.
Sounds messy, and
it's going to be messy.
Like it's not going to be any fun for the Browns fans. All right.
Number 2.
Some Lions season ticket holders. Okay, we're going to have a small sports court here, because Lions season ticket holders, some of them aren't too pleased with the Lions organization. They received an email saying their 2025 ticket membership had been revoked. Powell Jan, I think, is one of those ticket holders. He said that, I'm going to paraphrase here, that it hurt for a long time, but they sent him this because him and another guy, Tony Stevenson, because they sold more of their tickets this year than went to the games or used them on their own. They transferred their tickets too many times. Now, these guys are saying they live out of town. They keep these tickets because it's easy for them to go back home and see games. They also give them away to family members and friends. But they're very upset with the Lions organization for this. They think they should at least get one more year. But as I said, they don't live in the state. Tony, who is your judgment for, the Lions or the fans?
I'm sure there's got to be some type of something in the bylaws or rules when you become a season ticket member that has to say this somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I have a hard time believing Detroit just made this up out of thin air. Like, oh, well, looks like you transferred your tickets too much. We're not going to renew you. Like this has to be somewhere in writing somewhere.
So let me read.
Assuming
I'm sorry. Let me read what the organization sent them. Like this is the email. Our internal review of your account activity indicates a level of resales and or transfer activity inconsistent with personal use of your Detroit Lions game tickets. We have made a decision.
Here's the other part that the other folks kind of left out there, that they weren't just giving their tickets away to their friends and family. They were reselling them. And so, you know, when you're trying to create, I know these teams now are trying to create home field advantage, and you're selling your tickets to, you know, the other side, the other team, assuming that's had happened sometime. I could see this being a little bit of an issue. So I don't know who's right or wrong. Is that what the question is?
Yeah. Do you rule the Lions or the fans?
I don't know, man. I think I need more information. I feel like the fans are these particular fans are trying to get away with a slick one here.
I do too. Chris, where's your judgment?
Judgments for the Lions. It's pretty clear based on what was written that they're selling their tickets more often than anything else. And I think the fans themselves are trying to play it off as if we're giving it away to friends.
For
family.
money
or family. No, if they're giving away to family,
they left the money part out.
Yeah. If you're honestly giving your tickets away to anybody, then I have no problem with that because you're the one paying for them. But if you're selling them to potentially fans of other teams, and I imagine they can follow this, track this. So
I mean,
my judgment is going to be for the Lions until the fans can prove to me that they're honestly, you know, doing right by these tickets.
Yeah,
that's the funny thing about this situation, right? I mean, there was a time where if you were a season ticket holder, they used to send you like a booklet full of tickets.
You just had the
awesome. They couldn't track them at that point, so you could do whatever you want. Now that we've gone digital, they got you. They got you in a vice now.
Yeah, if you transfer it, it even might watermark your tickets that they knew you transferred it. Like when they go scan it, it says it's already been transferred, something like that. It's crazy. Look, can we stop and the book of tickets? My grandpa and the 49ers, I used to sit there and just go through them for hours.
Dude, I used to save. My mom had season tickets for the Padres, so I used to go through. I mean, it was just like for 81 games and 4 or 5 seats. Like this thing was super thick.
It really is. I miss those days of tickets, actual tickets.
Number 1.
All right, if Isaiah Bond is correct, he's in the NFL Scouting Combine. Xavier Worthy's record 40-yard dash time at the Combine will last just one season. Last year, Worthy, a former Longhorn, ran a 4.21 second 40 and was eventually a first-round pick. Now, Isaiah Bond is saying that he can run a 4.20, and if he's feeling really, really good, he could run a 4.1. He said his best training time has been 4.23. So I don't know how you can run a 4.1 if your best training time is a 4.23. Anyway, Chris, is the Combine solely for social media?
The Combine is a waste of my time. I don't know what else to tell you. I
knew
could
you were
care
going to
less.
say that. I knew
care less how fast this guy runs. I cared less how fast Xavier Worthy ran till I saw him out on the football field and to see whether he could play football. Looked like he could play a little bit by the time it was all said and done. So it sounds like the Chiefs made a good draft pick there, but I could care less. The Combine is a made for
TV.
Not for television, but made for whatever event that the NFL has, so the self-important NFL tries to sell us as something really, really important. I think it's important to the teams drafting. Apparently it's important to these guys to put good times together, but seems like just as many guys who failed at the Combine are good players as opposed to guys that have started the Combine are good players. So I think it's a big fat waste of my time, and so I don't care.
All right, I hope you feel better after that. Tony, is the Combine for social media?
No, the Combine has been on TV before there was social media, and I enjoyed it. I don't watch all of it. I like the option to be able to come in, and if I want to get a football fix or I want to see what a certain college guy is running or doing, I can see it if I want. I don't have to tune into it. So no, I don't think it's for social media. I think it's for whoever is looking to digest it. I think for the most part, it's I mean, nobody really wants to see offensive linemen run, but they do all of that, right?
I've tried to digest it before, but I end up throwing up. So sorry.
Oh,
to each his own. I guess
so.
That's right.
All right, that's it for the Big Five. We are just a half hour away, or just over a half hour away from the Padres taking on the Mariners tonight. Yes, the Mariners tonight. Correct, guys? You're not looking at me, Chris.
I think so.
I hate you.
You don't know who they're playing? I mean,
I do.
Who should I ask? If you're a sports, the Padres station, you don't know who they're playing?
This is very embarrassing. Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Attention 97.3 The Fan listeners. If you're drowsy, sluggish, or feeling fatigued, you're about to get your afternoon boost. With Tony Gwynn Jr.
You know, people like to be outraged.
Chris Ello.
I'm not a foo-foo guy.
And Matt Skraby.
See, I like Paul Skeens, the baseball player. Hate the media coverage.
Don't blame us for any side effects.
You thrilled our fans throughout the postseason with a great performance.
Gwynn and Chris are ready to go.
All right, getting into the happy 23 minutes, as it were, today. Don't have the full happy hour for you because Padre baseball, spring training action coming up at the bottom of this hour. We'll be heading to Peoria for Jesse and Tony in about 20 minutes. Chris Ello here. Of course, Tony's there getting ready for the broadcast. Matt Skraby off and doing big speaking engagement tonight. So big upgrade in the director's chair over there. Our guy, Nick. How you doing, Nick? What are you doing? Did you mind sitting in for Skraby for 20 minutes?
Not at all. It's always a pleasure. I'm doing well. Appreciate you, Chris.
All right, man. Yeah, so that's the gang here for the next 15 minutes or so. A couple of things going on in sports. Of course, mentioned Padres, Mariners tonight. Padres are, 3-4? 3-5. Spring training play so far. And Manny scratched from the start tonight. So there's your Padre news. Really, you're up to date. Xander will bat cleanup instead of Manny tonight against the Mariners. Nothing really to be too concerned about, as it were. SDFC starts its home season tomorrow night. San Diego FC, 1-0. Galaxy did not lose a single home game all last year, home match, all last year. SDFC beat them in a shocking opener last Sunday. Now, a sellout crowd of over 35,000 fans is expected to squeeze its way into Snapdragon Stadium tomorrow night to say that they were witnesses to history. The first ever MLS game in America's finest city, St. Louis City SC. I guess they're a sports club, not a football club. Is that what SC stands for? Sports club? I'm not sure, but it's all I can think of. St. Louis City SC coming in to take on San Diego FC tomorrow night. Question is, can I watch the game for free on Apple TV? And I don't know the answer. That was like the big argument earlier today. Is the game? I subscribe to Apple TV, so I have the service. But does that mean I get to watch the match tomorrow night, or do I have to have the MLS package on top of Apple TV in order to watch?
Stands for Soccer Club, in case you were curious.
Oh, what did I say? Sports Club. Yeah. All right. St. Louis City Soccer Club against the San Diego Football Club. There you go. Thank you, Nick, for that, clearing that up. I'll sleep better tonight. San Diego State's got a big matchup tonight in Laramie tomorrow night against Wyoming. Talked about what that means a little earlier on the program. I think the Aztecs are certainly a tournament team. A loss to Wyoming could take them out of at-large consideration. That's how much on the bubble they still are, even after the impressive win over New Mexico the other night. So we'll keep an eye on that this weekend. Matthew Stafford agrees to a restructured deal. He'll stay with the Los Angeles Rams. Joel Embiid, he'll stay with the Philadelphia 76ers. Just not going to be playing for them. He'll miss the remainder of the regular season due to this knee swelling issue that has just been a part of Embiid's life all season long. Those are the biggest headlines of the day. A couple of games underway tonight. Boston against Cleveland. NBA, top teams in the East. Boston started the game with a 25-3 lead. This is the NBA. These are the best two teams in the 25-3. Cleveland has righted the ship a little bit since then. It's now 35-23 Celtics over the Cavs in the first quarter. I did want to mention one quick thing because we don't have much time in the next segment. Talk about it a lot, and I don't want to go out on a negative, but the NCAA is getting closer and closer to dropping the hammer on our friends at Fresno State. Both the school and the NCAA are investigating allegations that two players bet on themselves in daily fantasy contests. Under investigation are junior forward Michael Robinson, senior guard Jalen Weaver. Weaver already told ESPN that he played a daily fantasy contest on his own points total in a game against New Mexico on December 31st. Weaver said he risked $50 that he would score more than 11 points. He finished with 13. He said, I made a bad decision. Well, he at least bet on the right side. Just keep on keeping on, all you sports leagues. Keep signing up for relationships with FanDuel and DraftKings and Daily Fantasy and Bet ESPN. Hurts you and gives you tons of money. Because one day, I worry that this gambling stuff is going to really... It's the one thing that can take a big bite out of sports. The day that if it ever came, the day that we weren't sure the games were on the up and up, that would be the end of sports right there. Be no reason to watch anymore if we felt that the games were not on the up and up. And you got Fresno State involved now. Those players I mentioned, by the way, have not been with the team for a couple of months now. While all these investigations have been going on, University of New Orleans has also had similar gambling issues. And frankly, we talk about the pro leagues. The pro leagues are a little harder to get to because the players already make so much money. Colleges, although the NIL allows them to make a little more money, they don't have that kind of money. I don't know. I worry about this stuff all the time, and these stories keep popping up over and over and over again. All right, the biggest fan, we didn't forget about you. We're going to name that in a few minutes. Before that, we got to go to a quick break. We have traffic. It's there, says Nick. That means you'll get it now. All right, 5:17. We got a few minutes left before we send it out to Peoria. Padres baseball. Just before I give the biggest fan announcement, here's something you're going to nod your head, but it's like almost ridiculous to believe. Shohei Ohtani playing in his first spring training game of the year tonight. Dodgers are playing the Angels down in Arizona. First at bat, Ohtani, bottom of the first inning, leading off. What else? Home run. One swing, one homer for Ohtani. I understand it's spring training, but it does seem like the guy can almost accomplish that on command from time to time. All right, listen up, because we are announcing today's biggest fan right now. Congratulations goes out to Esteban Lemus of Spring Valley. Esteban, last name is spelled Lemus. Esteban Lemus of Spring Valley. Give us a call back, Esteban. You have 10 minutes to call. The phone number is 833-288-0973. You call, you will qualify for a grand prize, which is 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. Remember, the rest of you, if you have not yet registered, do so now. 97.3thefan, sd.com/biggest fan. Esteban Lemus, clock is running. 10 minutes. 833-288-0973 to win and get qualified for the big prize. All right, we got like 3 minutes left. I have to address one thing, and this is a bit it's not a personal note, but I'm only addressing it because I've had to, rooted for the Dolphins for all these years. Did you guys see the results of the player survey? Came out earlier this week. NFL players are asked to rate their teams on, how wonderful the food is and the locker rooms and the travel and the feel of the organization and this, that, and the other. And the number one best team in football for all of that stuff, I believe for the second year in a row, was the Miami Dolphins. I know they won it. I thought they won it last year also, but they won it this year as well. So the Miami Dolphins have the best off-field, whatever that might be. And when I heard that and read that, I was like, of course the Dolphins have the nicest organization. After all, that is the number one criticism of the Miami Dolphins, is that they're soft. It's that they're not tough. And maybe the Dolphins, coaches, general managers, ownership, not saying make them locker in less than stellar conditions, but how about working the team out a little harder in practice once in a while? Maybe the fact that they love you so much is one of the reasons that team continues to fall short year after year after year. I don't know. The Chargers got an A as well in the player balloting. I believe that's a first in the history of that franchise. The worst team, by the way, in football, lowest rating last year, was the Chiefs, the team that won the Super Bowl last year. The Chiefs moved up a little bit this year. I don't know. I thought it was interesting that I complain constantly about how soft the Dolphins are. Then I come to find out, well, yeah, it's the cushiest organization in the league. That's what the players say. Maybe that's a problem. All right, I think we got our man Esteban Lemus called in. So good for you, Esteban. You will qualify for the grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends, a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game later this season. So that's how simple that is. Register your name, 97.3thefan, sd.com/biggest fan. And then when you hear your name, we call names 3 times a day. Once in the morning show, once in the middays, once on our show. And when you hear your name, Esteban, you call in, boom. you're qualified. Got a shot to win the big prize. All right. Padres baseball's coming up next. Little spring training get together. Padres and the Seattle Mariners. Nick DiNucci. Hope you're not too worn out after that 9 minutes of hard work, Nick, pushing buttons. But he'll have to do it some more because he's got the game tonight. Jesse and Tony are next. For Tony, Skraby, who left me, Chris Ello, have a good weekend. Back with a full 4-hour show on Monday. Talk to you then on 97.3 The Fan.